the silence from the GOP. The root cause of unaffordable circumstance is failure to effectively manage your funds or to pursue better job opportunities. The USA is full of money-making options. Wise up, get moving. There you go, Bernie and AOC, a strategy to deal with affordability. Karl Marx wouldn't like it, but it's real life. Back in a moment. For 250 years, home ownership has been the cornerstone of the American dream. But that dream is under attack for many across the USA due to the rise in title fraud. But you can protect yourself with 25% off Home Title Lock's $1 million triple lock protection. Please go to HomeTitleLock.com today. Use promo code BILL25 at checkout. Don't let yourself become a victim. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Good morning, freedom fighters. Ken Williams.
Vic Porcelli.
How you doing, man?
I'm great, man.
All right, great Tuesday. Nick Schroer along just a sec. I heard it on the X at 9:25. So this bothers me, and the one guy that can figure it out for us is Ward Clark from Red State.
Yeah.
A very specific plot to assassinate President Trump that we found out from Israel.
Right.
Where was our Secret Service?
Got to talk about it.
What the hell, Ken?
We've talked about this before.
I don't know what they're doing. Drew Thomas Allen at 1041, Randy Tobler, chat box. Ken, who is doing the Pledge of Allegiance today?
From Rhino Shield, Vic. Darren Crook.
Go, Darren.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, the election now is just a few weeks away. Amendment 4 and Amendment 5, two of the big referenda on the ballot. And, I think we need constant education when we're going to vote about something as important as getting rid of the income tax and things like that.
Yeah.
So we'll have Nick fill us in on that completely, but I just want you to know we're on that story. Lindsey Graham's sister has been chosen to ride out his term till the midterms. And what did you say to me 10 minutes ago?
Oh, I love it. Because you're hearing people of course, the experts on social media say, well, she has no experience in that. Why is she doing it? Because you know what? President Trump never had that experience either, Vic. And he's doing it. And I would rather see her do it than a seasoned politician.
Yeah. Remember how you always say they forget they're on camera, they forget they're on videotape? This is the people on the left you're talking about saying that.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. So did they say anything when Mel Carnahan died in the plane crash and his wife took over?
Probably not.
Same,
I would say
same
probably
situation.
Not. Right.
Same situation. And that's it, I guess. All right, let's go.
He's known by many names.
We, the people are in charge. We are going to save our republic.
Nikki Two Shows. Schroer the Thrower. Twitter trolls love to hate him.
We love Vic Porcelli so much.
He's Nick Schroer, Missouri State Senator.
I probably should have mentioned Iran, too. We're bombing the hell out of them every night.
I'm liking it.
Maybe this is it. Good morning, State Senator Schroer. How are you?
I think Jordan Walker will just be utilized by the American military to bomb the hell out of him. Just toss the bombs up to him. They'll just keep pushing him out there.
Hey,
what a night.
Congrats to him.
Yeah, Jordan Walker, St. Louis Cardinal wins the home run derby. I used to love you know what? I used to love baseball. And now I just don't care anymore. I didn't watch it at all. Not 1 minute. I watched the highlights.
Well, they kind of went back to, and I know you and I've talked about it, the old home run derby, and it was just they'd bring up Mickey Mantle and Babe Ruth or whoever the hell, two of the big all stars. I remember watching that in black and white.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys.
Of course.
Let him finish.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Nick.
No, I was just going to say they changed the whole thing up, because it used to be, over the past couple of years, it was just unwatchable. You get guys up there, you get a countdown, hit as many home runs as you can in 2 minutes, and they're just gassing themselves out. This one, you get so many swings, and you're playing against somebody else, and then you go to the next round. It was kind of cool to see them at least honor the spirit of that old time home run derby.
Oh yeah, and I think I noticed. Didn't they wear their jerseys or their uniforms, their team uniforms, instead of just wearing National and American League? I like that.
They did.
If they go back to that, then I'll be pretty happy about it.
Me too. I don't know why they had to wear their hats backwards, though.
Well, it's that younger generation.
Mm-hmm. Those kids, right, Nick? Yeah.
I still feel, honestly, 20 years old at heart, but then there are moments where the Vic Porcelli comes over me. I'm like, back in my day, it wasn't like that.
Back in the Stone Age when Vic Porcelli was playing baseball. All right. Anything else on Jordan Walker before we move on?
No, I just, it's incredible. It's incredible to see the first Cardinal ever. All the greats that we've had from Mark McGwire, Jack Clark, Albert Pujols. You probably heard of him. All these greats that competed, and this is the first Cardinal ever to win it, which was kind of the cherry on top. Was this Ryan Howard, who grew up born and raised in St. Louis in Missouri. He was able to crown Jordan Walker with the necklace, or some specialty diamond necklace that they made. So two St. Louisans, well, I guess a St. Louisan born and raised, and now a St. Louisan, Jordan Walker, playing for the Cardinals. What a night for Cardinal baseball.
That's cool.
I think it's even from Baldwin, because the Baldwin ball field, there was a Red Lobster right behind one of the fields. And matter of fact, we call that field the Red Lobster Field. And when he was a player as a kid, he hit a home run into the Red Lobster parking lot, and that's been a big piece of
free biscuits for him.
All right, Nick, let's talk more about Amendment 4, Amendment 5. Let's take them one at a time and try to give us a good synopsis of what's going on, starting with Amendment 4.
I think Amendment 4 is probably the most important thing that has been on our ballot in years. And then you're going to have another important thing here in a couple months with Amendment 3. But it's vitally important that we pass Amendment 4. We've been talking about this the entire time that I've been in the legislature. We have to fix the initiative petition process. And for all of those that hear IP reform, we're not talking about intellectual property. We're talking about the initiative petition process. We are one of the only states, and I'm not exaggerating, when you go to all these conferences with all these other legislators from blue states, from red states, they're scratching their head thinking, what in the world are you guys doing in Missouri? You're allowing out-of-state billionaires to fully fund changing your constitution. They're not residents there. They've never stepped foot there. They have no business presence there. You're just letting these out-of-state wackos like Michael Bloomberg, Hans Weiss from Switzerland, and George Soros, all of these knuckleheads who hate America, who hate Republicans, to change our Constitution just with a couple $1 million. And that's what they've been doing. So what this would do, saying, you can't just pass something with buy-in from St. Louis and Kansas City that's going to impact everywhere else in the state of Missouri, from rural northern Missouri, mid-Missouri. You can't just pass something with that. You need buy-in from all of these congressional districts. But it also goes further to prosecute the fraud that we've seen running rampant around America in collecting these signatures. We've seen in California where people are being paid, homeless people are being paid for their signatures. They don't know what they're signing on to. Yep. So this would prosecute the fraud. It would stop that. But it would also ensure, and this is one of the most important parts that I've been advocating for years, it would ensure that when you get your signature, you get somebody in the Schnucks parking lot or the library parking lot saying, hey, would you like to sign amendment such and such for women's health? And you walk up and say, yeah, what does it do? Currently, all they have to show you is a ballot summary. just a ballot summary and basically a paragraph of what the courts have said. Yeah, this kind of gives a good description of what's in it. But look at marijuana, look at expanding Obamacare, look at one of the most egregious ones was the quote-unquote clean Missouri, where they said it was all about lobbyist gift bans and cleaning up ethics in the state of Missouri. But no, at the heart of it was changing redistricting to give it to the only statewide Democrat at the time to manage all of the redistricting in the state of Missouri. This would ensure that you're going to see all of what is in your ballot. So protecting our Constitution, protecting transparency in these ballot summaries, and it's only for constitutional amendments. I've heard a lot of people saying, well, wait a second. What if I want a statutory measure? That's unchanged. And lastly, let me throw this out there because I've seen the rage mobs going crazy because there is a quote-unquote different standard for one passed by the legislature. Well, the legislature, you have the opportunity to vote for the person in the primary in August who's going to represent you. And then you have the opportunity to vote for the person out of both parties in November. And then those people can file bills, can vet bills. They're on committees where ballot summaries or ballot initiative processes go through the committee of origin. Then it goes to a rules committee. Then it goes to the floor for full debate on perfection, where you can add amendments, make it better, listen to the people who this is going to impact. Then you go to a third read where you finalize it and send it over to the other chamber where that process starts all over again. So the vetting process on ballot initiatives and resolutions from the legislature is entirely different than George Soros putting a couple $1 million, lying to people in St. Louis and Kansas City, and now changing your rights in the Constitution.
That's pretty good summation of Amendment 4. Nice job, Nick. Now, Amendment 5 is a gradual reduction in state income tax to hopefully get it down to nothing. People against it are saying, well, it's just going to tax the poor. The poor are going to carry this in taxes. Can you clear all that up for me right now?
100%. So current law in our statutes right now, we've got the same process that we're trying to put in the Constitution. However, there is a hiccup because the legislature, whenever they passed this, said, yeah, we're only going to go down to 4 or 5%. And then once it's at 4 or 5%, we're just not going to go any further. So we've been trying in the past couple of years to pass removing that floor to expedite these triggers with more revenue coming in that continues to go down. That's the process that we've had in place for several years, and it's been working. Currently, we're at about 4.7% in the income tax. And what this would do would allow us to reopen, and this is the thing that the Democrats and the anarchists are just all frustrated about. Our tax scheme, our tax system is so archaic that so many people are getting away. And I thought the Democrats would like this. Remember, paying your fair share. All of these different entities are getting away with skating by without paying, quote unquote, their fair share. So these video lottery terminals that we've seen in every friggin' gas station in America or in Missouri, we could go after them. The sick freaks that are on OnlyFans, the big data centers that we're talking about, any companies that are utilizing AI instead of humans or replacing them, like Amazon and Walmart plan to do with drone delivery services. And I talked about that either on your show or Ferguson's show. But all of these different entities we can start going after and not have to go after sales tax. But even if we pass this and said, look, we're going to gradually, as the income comes in, we're going to go to zero. If we didn't do a darn thing and just let that stay in our Constitution, it would be a slow drip and would get there in, 30 years or so to getting to income to zero. But the process that we need to start talking about is cutting spending, cutting these tax credits that a lot of, companies have been getting since the Democrats 20 plus years ago controlled the state of Missouri, and going after those entities that aren't necessarily paying into the system today. So if we were to do that, this isn't going to do jack to your sales tax. But even if we wanted to touch your sales tax and start looking at things like haircuts or massages or chiropractic care or things that just aren't covered currently, this would not be an astronomical jump. This would be an extra 50 cents on your bill, $1 on your bill, because we've seen it tried and tested and actually work in states like Tennessee, where their sales tax is in the 7s. And that's what our auditor has come forward saying, look, if you don't touch anything else, if you pass this, you don't touch spending, you don't touch anything else, you would just have to increase that sales tax to 7 to effectively get to a zero income tax over the next several years. But the plan, and this is why I'm running for floor leader in the state of Missouri, in the Missouri Senate, is to usher this through the right way, that we're going to cut spending year over year. Billions of dollars need to go back to the people of Missouri. And we absolutely have to start looking at the tax credit program and all of these other systems that the legislature has been sitting on their hands for years, allowing the data centers, allowing the porn websites, allowing all of this stuff to go unchecked.
Well, not only that, but, other states are eating our lunch. I get this newsletter from Ness Sandoval. He's a data expert. He's a really great guy, actually, from St. Louis. He's saying we're losing people. We're just losing people, whether it's by birth. The people are leaving the state. And, Nick, no matter what we do, if taxes go down, we need people. And we're not going to get people if they're paying taxes heavily, because Missouri's really, you pay taxes here. I mean, more so than you do in other states. So vote yes.
Yeah, when you look at,
in other words,
when you look at all the blanket of taxation that we have, from income tax to sales tax to personal property tax to real property tax. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And I'm just talking about your main taxes, and then you go down to the lower levels of taxation and, the registration and all the fees, whether it's locally or in the state. So we have to have a serious conversation this August in voting yes on Amendment 5. And I know there's a lot of scare tactics, and I hate the fact that, there's not a clear-cut plan in the Constitution, because that, honestly, it would handcuff the legislature. And I do understand and appreciate the fact that some of my friends saying, well, Pelosi, we gotta pass it to find out what's in it. No, we actually know the different courses that we can go down to get to zero in a quicker manner. And I'm standing here saying, I heard somebody tell me the other day, well, sales tax is going to jump to 20%. And I said, I don't know who in the hell is telling you that, because it's not going to happen. There's no other state that's effectively gotten to zero on income tax and has raised it that high. But mark my words, we're not going to do that. And they said, well, how do you know? I said, because I have the filibuster power. And me and my friends like Adam Schnelting and Jim Avery and Bill Hardwick and so many others, Ben Brown, we are not going to stand for that. We finally have at our hands right now, the most conservative Senate is about to turn over for next session. And that's what we're focused on. Cutting spending is a number one priority. But like you stated as well, we're bleeding people, as all of these states around us are on a path to zero income tax, are embracing school choice. Missouri is sitting on their hands. We've got a great opportunity with this governor, Governor Kehoe, who came in saying, look, my priorities are public safety, school choice, and tax cuts. And we finally have a guy in the governor's mansion who understands, if you want to grow this state effectively and make it safer and more prosperous for people, not only who are living here, but who are kind of looking around saying, yeah, I'm thinking about moving from Illinois to a better state. Well, a lot of them are just doing a swivel and going to Tennessee or going to Arkansas, the state that a lot of us used to make fun of and poke fun of for so many years, is now outpacing us in so many categories. So school choice, tax cuts, public safety, these are the things that we need to get serious about. But you're seeing right now on the airwaves, commercial, radio, all of the lies being spewed about Amendment 4 and Amendment 5. And let me remind you, if you're new to our Republican Party, we've been fighting for this for over 20-something years. And finally, we got our heads out of our rears, did something, put it on the ballot, and now we've got people saying, well, I wouldn't have done it that way. I'm not going to vote on it because it's not the perfect. If you got a comma out of place, you've got a little bit of wording. Let's not let perfect be the enemy of good here. Okay. Good is cutting taxes and moving in the direction that other states like Tennessee have done.
You know what, Nick, we're out of time, but I still have a couple of things I want to say, but you do have to be brief. Can you raise your right hand?
Yes.
Do you swear to be brief, very brief, nothing but brief? So help you God?
Yes.
Okay. We talked to Lisa Gambino yesterday, a candidate for St. Charles County Council. Lovely woman.
Judy Gambino.
Was it Judy?
Judy.
Sorry. Hey, Nick, yesterday we talked to Judy Gambino. Very, very lovely woman. Obviously, you know about her because you knew her name and I didn't. But she really impressed me. She was a nice girl and she knew what she was talking about.
Yep. All I want to say about that is, the current person in that seat voted against some resolutions on capping immigration and fighting illegal immigration. So here's another lady, Judy Gambino, has her head in the right place, very common sense, and working for the grassroots people here in St. Charles County.
In our chat box, have to read this now since you're with us. Senator Schroer, thank you for getting common sense legislation passed. Very much appreciated. And then one more thing explaining the backwards hat crap during the home run derby. Nick says that hat backwards is the kid Ken Griffey's thing. He did it first and brought a cool vibe to kids. I was going to say that. I thought Ken Griffey Jr. was the first one to wear the hat.
That makes sense. I remember that, too.
I think my dad did it before Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah. Well, was he a catcher?
You'll hear more about that. You'll hear more about the anti-Sharia law bill that we passed, the Lyme Disease Eradication Act, and over-the-counter ivermectin, which is all law, thanks to the Missouri Freedom Caucus. You'll hear about that.
We need more time with you, Nick.
Yeah, can we schedule you in later in the week again?
Let's do it.
All right, I'll contact you.
Nick, thanks so much.
Right.
Thanks, Nick.
Have a blessed week.
God bless you, buddy.
Am I out of line with the hat backwards thing?
That's your thing?
Okay.
Because when I was, after we would finish a game, when I was 18, whatever, we'd flip our hats around. It was a thing like, we're done, let's go have some fun.
How old were you?
I was 16, 17, 18.
So fine. That's fine. You're a kid, I had a kid when I coached. His name was Nick. And he had a hat on backwards on the field during practice. And I said, never on my field are you going to wear that hat backwards.
You're the coach.
So we were at the zoo one time with the family. He was with his family. And I saw him before he saw me. And he caught my eye. And he quickly just turned his hat the other way. All right, up next, I heard it on the X.
You know that chick that used to dance a lot? Every night she'd be on the floor shaking what she'd got. Man, when I tell you she was cool,
Follow us on Rumble at NewstalkSTL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
So thank you all. God bless you all. Let's go lick the world. Let's get it done.
On NewstalkSTL.
Ew. Hey, I always tell you that Connor Roofing, they want you to meet their staff, people that work there.
Sure.
So they put up Meet the Staff every Monday. Well, I'm sorry, Meet the Staff Monday is what they call it on Facebook. And yesterday, they wanted us to meet Kathy Connor.
Hi, Kathy.
That's what I put. That was my quote. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
And so we already know her, but you should get to know her because she's great. And her and Rob are just a dynamic duo when it comes to roofing, repair, gutters, siding, you name it, they do it. And they are the company that will call you. Some companies do this stuff and like, oh my God, I hope I don't call us and ask us and tell us what we did wrong. Kathy will call you and ask you what you thought of what they did. Who does that?
Well, when you're all done and you've had maybe a week or so to look at what their work has been, what they've done with the work, then they have a walkthrough. You just walk through with them, and okay, this isn't quite right. They'll fix it if it's a problem. That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's not pretty good.
It's awesome.
It's great.
It is.
Great.
For a consumer, it really is.
It really is. So go to ConnorRoofing.com, CONNER roofing.com.
Newstalk STL is celebrating our 5th birthday. And we're giving away a limited edition Newstalk STL America 250 t-shirts. It's exclusive, it's collectible, and it could be yours. Just head to NewstalkSTL.com to register.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, News Talk.
Been listening since day one. Happy birthday to my talk station.
5 years, happy birthday.
News Talk STL.
Newstalk STL. Happy birthday to us, and good luck to you.
Let's take a break.
Good idea.
Hey, Tom, what are you doing on that Amendment 4?
You know we fought for our freedom and rights. I'm not giving them away without a fight.
4 takes them?
That's exactly what 4 does. For over 100 years, Missouri voters have used our constitutional power to act when the politicians refused. I'll be darned if I'm voting to pass on less freedom and power to my kids.
And doesn't 4 also kill majority rule?
Yup. Creates minority rule, where just 5% of the most liberal statewide voters in one Missouri congressional district that block any citizen-led reform, making it nearly impossible to pass common-sense conservative citizen ballot measures.
That's crazy town stuff.
And we've needed our citizen ballot measure power to pass some big conservative stuff, like outlawing tax hikes without voter approval, lobbyist reforms, and term limits for career politicians.
No way I'm letting a tiny fraction of liberals derail our conservative power. I'm no on Amendment 4.
Hard no on 4.
Pay 4 buttons or inch, prepare governance.
What happens next?
The U.S. strikes in retaliation.
Happens right here.
These are evil, sick people, and we have to rid their cancer.
Iran will not have nuclear weapons.
101.9 and 94.1.
St. Louis is #1 for conservative talk.
Newstalk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
Hi, this is Steve Heitner. You may know me as Kenny Banya from Seinfeld, and you're listening to Vic and Ken on the Vic Porcelli Show on News Talk STL.
Okay. Get right to it because we're late. Ken, it's time for I Heard It on the X.
Oh, you're not going to say anything else? Okay.
What do you want me to say?
Oh, I don't know.
Hey, Ken, it's time for I Heard It on the X.
Anywhere, y'all. Everywhere, y'all. I heard it on the X.
All right, Heard It on the X. We just browse through X, pick some stuff out to read, and even for you to hear, so you can heard it on the X. You can hear
Heard
it on the X.
On the X.
I did that on purpose.
I know you did.
And it's inspired by the Bugs Bunny cartoon of him and the Three Bears. Remember the Three Bears?
Yes.
And the big stupid baby bear goes, "Somebody's been sleeping in my bed, and there he is, still been sleeping in my bed." Do you remember that?
I do. And that's the scary part is I do remember that.
When we do the deli on Thursdays, there's a little clip from that when he goes, "Ketchup, ketchup, where's the ketchup at?" And then the stupid baby bear gets up and hands him the ketchup.
Right.
And then his father pounds him for doing it.
Doink.
So funny. Doink! Okay, let's start with Joe. He's at C4 number 4. 4. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. Keep showing up for yourself. Ken, do you love what you do?
I love what I do.
I love what I do now more than I have ever before, and that's got everything to do with you, pal.
Oh, no, you too as well, Vic. And I've never had this much fun in radio. On social media, there were people in there saying, well, I work hard for my family, and I don't have to love my job, but I just have to take care of my family. Well, you know what? You can search. Some people have the wherewithal, and they can try and find a job that they love. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with it. They just sounded so negative.
I was a letter carrier for the United States Postal Service. Do you think I enjoyed that? No.
I remember one job I had selling futons. I did not enjoy that. I enjoyed the people. I just did not like the job.
Well, we're enjoying ourselves and the people here.
Yes.
At News Talk STL. Okay, this is audio 15, Ken. It comes from Western Lensman, Nicole Wallace. I could have used Nicole Wallace for the entire I Heard It on the X today, but I didn't want to burden you with that. Nicole Wallace tells Jim Acosta, this is like a meeting of the minds, she refused to carry past Trump White House briefings on her show because they hurt her.
I stopped carrying Sarah Huckabee Sanders' briefings, just refused to carry them because having worked there, it actually hurt me to watch her lying. And I'm not saying that every press secretary in every White House doesn't, try to get the best coverage they can or put the best possible light on the things that their boss is doing.
So a journalist, an anchor person, it hurt her, so she just couldn't stand it.
Can I veer off for just a second? Little squirrel, just tiny, little baby squirrel. Did you see the guy who is going to run in place of Graham Plattner now in Maine? He's a guy. He's got a beard. And he talks 100% all the time in vocal fry.
Really?
Well, I'm going to run for the Senate because I think that it's a great way to do America. Every word is a vocal fry.
So he has a beard, though.
He's got a beard.
So that's what people were saying is the Democrat Party, they're seeking out men with beards because they have a masculinity problem. They've driven men from their party for so long. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because of their whole the wokeism and all that other stuff. So they're trying to get back to that. That's why they chose Graham Platter, because he's a man's man. Well, the problem is he's too much of something. But this guy, I guess, that doesn't matter. As long as he has a beard, they're okay with it, right?
Total vocal fry. It's so bad. Wow. It's so bad.
Wow.
Our next thing on I Heard It on the X is from Miles Commodore, and I don't know what he's trying to say here, but he says, a strange game. The only way to move is not to play. How about a nice game of chess?
War games.
Yeah. He didn't put the video up for it because I would have gave that to you.
So you don't know why he said that?
Don't know why.
Okay.
Don't know why there's no sun up in the sky. Stormy weather. Sorry. Constitution X, number 16, Ken. Who doesn't want to, why not have some Stephen Miller torching CNN on a Tuesday?
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem posted a stunning allegation saying that an undocumented migrant sent a letter threatening to kill the president, promising to self-deport after the assassination. CNN reporting shows that investigators believe the migrant was set up. It was a victim of a setup. What is the administration going to do now? And this is an undocumented immigrant. I do want to note that. But this was someone who came forward, was a victim of a crime, and now law enforcement believes he was set up. Go ahead.
Well, I want to clarify what you mean, so we're talking about the same thing. Are you saying this immigrant was here illegally?
Yes, but I am, and that's why I said that. I clarified that.
You said undocumented, and I wasn't clear what that means. I'm assuming they have a fake ID. I'm assuming they have a fake Social Security number.
That's neither here nor there.
That's
getting away from the question, Stephen. I want this to be, and call me naive, a good faith discussion about what's happening right now.
But when we use language that's designed to obscure the truth, that's not good faith. An illegal alien is an illegal alien. They're not an undocumented migrant.
Okay, that's fine. That's another discussion for another date.
I don't know the details of the assassination threat. All I can say, based on what you're telling me, is there's an illegal alien in our country who's making menacing threats. Regardless of the facts or circumstances, we don't want him here. We're going to get to the bottom of it, and I would gladly come back on when I have more information to share with you.
They were set up, just to be clear. But quickly, where is the White House on habeas corpus?
The illegal alien was treated unfairly. Yes, I'm sure the illegal alien was treated very unfairly.
Where is the White House on
I'm sure the illegal alien was treated unfairly. I'm sure of it.
Ken, isn't there somebody that works at CNN like a corner ring coach like in boxing and gives you last minute things? Like nobody said, okay, listen, you're going to go up against Stephen Miller. He is intellectually way up here and you are down there in the garbage pit. So be careful what you say. And he was not going to let her get away with saying undocumented. And I love that about him.
Right. Well, he captured that first. He thought she thought that she'd get away with going through it and he would miss it. But he's not going to miss that stuff.
Right. Okay, Ken, I got another audio for you to find. Sorry, audio 17.
Yeah.
John Fetterman says he was one of the Democrats who stood up for Irina Zarutska and Erica Kirk at President Trump's State of the Union event. Even Erica Kirk. Can't we just be more kind to a widow?
The rest of people in my party would stand up and clap for her. I clapped with a lot of those things that it seemed like others. Like I stood up and I clapped to recognize the family that lost their daughter, the Ukrainian girl that was stabbed to death, in North Carolina. And I stood up and I clapped that political prisoner from Venezuela, how you can't celebrate those kinds of things. And now I also celebrated all the veterans that were in the audience as well, too. And even more the political things like Erica Kirk. I stood up and I clapped for her as well, too. Now, here, can't we just be more kind to a widow? I mean, we just shouldn't be that long ago that a widow, with young children has her husband murdered, how we can't just acknowledge that as well, too. Wow. Whether white people would attack her, whether the left or the right either. So I'm always going to stand up and clap for things that I agreed with like striking the Iranian, sites now for me. I never worry about who's standing up or clapping. If I see it, I'm going to. If I don't agree with it or whatever, I'm certainly not going to yell and scream and disrupt the whole thing.
All right. And finally, our last entry today, and I heard it on the X, comes from Natasha Carter, who, by the way, was on fire last night. I chose this one. I could have chose one of 6 or 7 things she put on X last night. But the one I chose was from Natasha Carter. Once my bra is off, it's off for the night. So if someone needs me to run to the store, I'm going without it.
Anywhere, y'all. Everywhere, y'all. I heard it on the
X. I'm not saying anything.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, come on, ladies.
I know I've heard it before.
You're not going to work. Right. You're not going to work. And join the Tarps Off kids at Bush one day, too. All right. Our 5th anniversary is coming up this Sunday, Ken.
Yeah.
5 years. The little station that everybody made fun of and said they would never last, lasted 5 years. That's a damn good track record. And we've been working with some great people like Heroes Care, and they want to give away 1,000 suits for people who serve and sacrifice, active duty, retired, guard, or reserve in the military, police, fire, or EMS. Just show up with ID, and you'll get a suit. July 18th from 9 till 2 p.m. That's this weekend, too. Or that's Friday, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Wow. No, it must be Saturday.
No, Saturday, yeah. I'm sorry.
At the Mission Depot, High Ridge, 4558 Gravois Village Center. And all of you, thank you so much for serving.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. Vic and Ken. Ken can build a deck. Vic can build a sandwich. The Vic Porcelli Show on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
You know, when you go over your buddy's house, you're having beers or, cooking burgers on the grill, you say, yeah, built a deck. Want to see my deck? I say, yeah, built a sandwich. Come on in the kitchen, I'll show it to you.
That's right.
Took me weeks. Meat, bread, something like that. If you're out having fun, and any time of day, I just say out night because I love, and I know you do too, love AM and the PM.
Big time.
An omelet or eggs or pancakes even in the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I'm fat. But if you ever get that urge, if you're out on the way home and you say, let's stop to get something to eat, Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant is the place to go. They're open 24 hours a day. So few places now are open 24 hours a day. My goodness. 7 days a week. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, served 24 hours a day. They've been in business for 35 years. Great daily specials, great loyalty rewards, too, and just some absolutely great dishes. And their house salad to die for, pancakes made from scratch, plus great pies and desserts. And you can join the waiting list by going to Yelp or at ginghamsrestaurant.com.
And if you're on your deck with your friends late at night and you just want to go get a bite to eat, you can do it at Gingham's.
Yeah. Located at Highway 94, just south of Highway 70.
On the next Larry Connors USA.
The story behind the story when kids were told in case of a nuclear bomb, hide under your desk.
Larry Connors USA. Now weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the suicide prevention hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job. Cut the Bullpack paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
Hey, Mike Ferguson here, and for nearly 40 years, Nutrition Stop has been St. Peter's trusted source for natural living. They've got a great, knowledgeable staff offering more than just products. They provide guidance on your wellness journey with exceptional service. From 100% grass-fed meats like elk and bison and local produce to quality supplements and clean household products, 4101 Mexico Road in St. Peter's, just off the interstate at Cave Springs and Highway 70.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER roofing.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Now, my mamaw died shortly before I left for Iraq in 2005. And when we went through things, we found 19 loaded handguns.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Tim Curry, everybody.
Yeah.
Poor guy had a stroke. If you've seen pictures of him, his whole face is just right side of his face.
It's sad.
And he's such a great performer. He's
Yeah.
great. All right, so can we talk about Lindsey Graham a little more here?
Yeah.
Because the thing about this is, and we said this yesterday, that Lindsey Graham died of the widowmaker, the aorta bursting.
Right.
And boy, it's weird when they think you got it. Like in my case, they thought I had that. And then to go back and do the extra CT with the dye and all that stuff, it's fine. And not for nothing. Oh, my God, it's a 7. We got to get you in there and do something about it.
Right now.
Right now. It was almost like that. And then you go to do the CT thing again. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
You're fine. I mean, I'm not fine, but I am Mr. Kimball from Green Acres.
Better than you thought you were.
I'm not fine. Well, I'm fine sometimes, but I'm not fine all the time. Good morning, Mr. Douglas. Well, it's not a good morning. Well, it's not a bad morning. You remember Mr.
Oh, yeah.
Kimball?
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, the thing about Lindsey Graham and this whole thing is the last thing I ever expected to hear in a news story was that Lindsey Graham was dead. You know? 71's not old compared to everybody else in the Congress, right? Chuck Grassley and, you know.
I actually thought that it wasn't real because I saw it first on social media. I thought, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
And then
because of the Mitch McConnell thing, right? Your senses were deadened by the Mitch McConnell thing.
Exactly. And by the way, we just received a call from somebody saying, he said, yeah, they're putting Mom Donnie's picture in all these schools in New York. And I'm like, okay, I don't think that's true. So when you call and you say something like that, yeah, you're probably you have to understand we're going to research all this crap. So don't do that. Don't do that.
You know how radar works, right? Radar.
Oh yeah.
And then some people have the gift of having gaydar. They know if a guy's gay, right?
Right.
Ken has douchebag-dar.
Oh, big time.
So you're good at picking out those douchebags right off the bat.
Yeah.
So well done, Kenny.
Thank you.
He said I was stupid. Is that what he said?
Oh, I don't know. It was some goofball.
Yeah, that's a great way to get on the air.
That's
Tell the guy that answers the phone that Vic's stupid. Perfect.
There you go. Hey, hold on. We'll get you right on.
So anyway, sorry. Back to Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
He just played golf. But I don't know if you heard the commentary by Trey Gowdy at 8:34 or 8:35 this morning, but he had just played golf. You could hear the sorrow in Trey Gowdy's voice talking about.
Sure. Yeah.
And he said he just played golf with him. You know, he was going to teach him, give him some putting lessons. And the president of the United States talked with him hours before he died.
Can't remember who the senator was, but someone in his staff talked with him. Wow. I just saw this morning. Talked with him right before he actually passed out.
Wow.
And he was like saying, I am having some chest pains. Can you call 911 for me?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was literally a staffer that called for him. Yeah.
Wow. So that's how powerful that widowmaker is, that he was conscious enough to say, hey, call 911 for me.
Yeah.
Because normally you're on the floor already and somebody's calling 911 for you after you pass out, after you're unconscious.
Right.
So, I felt bad because, they're both from South Carolina, Lindsey Graham and Trey Gowdy. And the president had a great supporter in Lindsey Graham. And Lindsey Graham said to the president, let's get back. We're going to pass this Save America Act. And by the way, you know that his sister is going to vote for the Save America Act.
Well, of course, because he wanted it. Yeah.
And Ken, I got to tell you too. You taught me so much since we've been doing this together. The past of Lindsey Graham, his parents died.
Yeah.
And his younger sister, he had to take care of, right?
Right.
And then adopted her as a guardian, I guess?
Yeah, because he was in the Air Force for 31 years, and he knew that had he died, there would be no one else to take care of her, so he would have been able to, because he adopted her, she would have been able to get all the benefits from him.
Wow.
As an Air Force person. I think it was a lawyer.
So that's a pretty compelling life.
And also, you know, you hear about J.D. Vance, where he came from, but Lindsey Graham came from real meager upbringing. I mean, he supposedly lived in a bar setting, like restaurant type of setting.
This is Lindsey Graham we're talking about?
Lindsey Graham, yeah.
Was it a pool room?
Pool room, yeah. And then he would take a bath, apparently out back, in some big tub or something.
Oh, wow.
You know, so I mean, yeah, it was very, very slight upbringing.
And he got through it. I don't know how it came up earlier this hour. We were talking about working for a living or whatever, loving what you do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Being a letter carrier is not fun. Not a fun job. This is a fun job.
Right.
Being a letter carrier is not fun. You know that through wind and snow and sleet and fog of night and all. That's true. They'll send you out in anything. Anyway.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all. I mean, the one redeeming thing I think in that field would be that you stay in shape, for sure.
Didn't make it fun.
No.
Didn't
No,
make
I'm not
it fun.
saying no, I wouldn't think so.
But, you know, I would be in my Jeep, and this particular time was a very cold night. It got so cold out there, and you have to be out in it so long. I had a mustache at the time, the Guido mustache. Ice crystals were forming in my mustache. That's how cold it was. I looked at them and I was like, what the hell? Am I climbing Mount Everest?
Yeah.
And I was in the Jeep because if you've ever seen the mailboxes that say last pickup 5 p.m.
Yes.
Well, that pickup was me.
Oh, okay.
Because I was a part-timer. Not a part-timer. I was a full-timer. Flexi scheduled, they called it. I just didn't have my own route.
You were the newer guy.
Substitute for guys who took vacations and things like that.
Right.
But we were the guys who had to go out and empty those things. And when you got like a nice residential suburban area, there's like maybe 2 or 3 envelopes in there. That's about it. But in front of a big office building, you open it up and this avalanche of letters and stuff came flying out of it. So, and you got to bring them in the truck and bring them back to the post office. So it was cold. I was listening to the radio, listening to 105.5 WDHA, the Rock of New Jersey. And Curtis K., who was one of the greatest DJs this country's ever seen that nobody's heard of. Big, deep voice. Great, fun stuff he would say about it. And at the end of his show every day, he would say, thank you very much for the use of your ear. See you tomorrow, whatever.
Yeah.
And he was talking about some band, Stones, the Beatles, or whatever. And I said, look at me. And look at him, right? He's sitting in a nice warm studio, drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes, talking about the Beatles and the Stones, and I'm doing this. So I quit the post office because I wanted to be in radio,
Well, so what step did you take at that point?
I quit and went back to school, Fairleigh Dickinson University in Teaneck, New Jersey. And when I went to go talk to the radio station, because I always wanted to be in radio, I said to the guy who ran the place, Carl Krause was his name, and I said, so what's your format? Well, we have a very strict format here. During the day, up until 3:15 in the afternoon, we play, it's called Music America. We're very strict. It's country, bluegrass, and blues.
Wow.
I said, did you say blues? And so I found a station that plays blues.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, doing that, I got a great appreciation for bluegrass music, To this day, I have it. And so I did that, ended up with my own blues show on Saturday afternoons, and I think that answered your question.
Well, I think the people that complain about their jobs enough, you can, it's drastic, and sometimes it's very painful, but you can make a change. You're not lifelong stuck. You're not it's not like a death sentence to be in a job. You're really not.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my kids, no matter what you do, try and do it. If at all possible, try and do what you love. Seriously. And the old saying goes, you'll never work a day. But it's true, Vic.
Yeah.
I love artwork and I love doing cakes. So I did that. I just wanted to do it. So I actually learned how to do it and do it. I'm not saying I did anything special. I'm just saying, if you want to do something and you're any good at it, you'll succeed. It'll just take you some time. And man, if you do succeed in something like that you really care about, wow, the payoff is huge.
And find a mentor. Find a
Big
guardian
time.
angel. A guardian angel.
Big time.
Mine was Mike Boyle. We talk about Mike all the time. He hired me at DHA, that station. The station that I was listening to, I got to work at.
Isn't that awesome?
And then when I got a part-time job at WMMR in Philadelphia. He helped me get that. He called Joe Bonadonna. Matter of fact, he got other people to call Joe Bonadonna to the point where when I sat in front of Bonadonna for the interview, he goes, "Do you have any idea how many people have called me on your behalf for this job?" I was like, "No, but that's good, right?"
That's good, right? And whatever you do, just you're going to have people throughout this whole struggle that you're trying to get this job that you want. You're going to have people tell you left and right that you're not going to do it. You're not going to make it. You shouldn't be here. I heard it so many times. You will never work in radio in St. Louis.
What
ever.
Are you, Mark Chernoff? That's what I got from Mark Chernoff at DHA. I'll never work there. Oh, really?
See?
It's the same thing as you. Same thing. One person that doesn't like you, but then somebody like Mike who does. And then Mike hired me there. Mike helped me get the job in Philadelphia. I remember calling him from 30th Street train station in Philadelphia before I went in. And he goes, "I want you to exude confidence." Yeah. I was like, "Okay, I'll exude it." and I got the job. I mean, it was part-time. It was on the weekends. I had a great time doing it. And you know what? Maybe on the Deli we'll talk a little bit about that this Thursday, Ken. Because next week, is the anniversary of David Bowie's 5-night stand at the Tower Theater in Philadelphia. And those shows made up my favorite live album of all time, David Live. So maybe we'll tell that story. You into that?
No, that'd be totally cool, yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
And maybe I can bring out what I've been telling you for months and never did. When in one song he starts singing, they say the neon lights are bright on Broadway, on my way. I like David Bowie, okay? So anyway, Lindsey Graham, rest in peace. We'll miss you. His sister, never a politician, perfect.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Running for office should be the opposite of a resume.
Right. If you have common sense, if you're a business person especially, wow, we want you.
If you have a resume full of political jobs, no. If you have a resume, well, where's your political experience? I don't have any. You're hired.
Go.
Fantastic.
Whoosh.
You work hard, follow the rules, and get absolutely slammed by taxes. Your paycheck, taxed. Your property, taxed. Everything you buy, taxed. Missouri's tax system isn't broken, it's rigged against you. The lawyers and lobbyists working for big corporations and the super rich buried over 200 loopholes for themselves in our tax code. While they pay nothing on the services they use, working families are taxed over and over. It's no wonder they're lying about Amendment 5. Our corrupt tax system is rigged in their favor. They're getting a free ride on your back. Don't believe their lies. The truth is, Amendment 5 closes loopholes exploited by the super rich and slashes taxes paid by Missouri's working families, phasing out income taxes and cutting property taxes. They finally pay what they owe while you keep what you earn. Vote yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC.
Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros and Exteriors, your all-in-one service team that brings years of experience and quality that's affordable right to your doorstep. Christine and I discovered Gutter Pros and Exteriors when we bought our home and inherited a gutter problem. And they've also repaired siding damage on our home because along with gutter repair, gutter installation, and leaf protection, the Gutter Pros team are also the best for repairing other exterior damage, including fascia, soffit, and all siding repair and installation. Learn about all the ways Gutter Pros and Exteriors can help your home or business right now at gutterpros.com.
Tired of settling for generic fishing gear? Say hello to Bullseye Bait and Tackle, O'Fallon's one-stop shop for serious anglers. Live bait, premium tackle, rods, reels, and an unbeatable selection of lures from top brands like Megabass, Zoom, and Berkley. Whether you're after bass, catfish, crappie, or bluegill, they've got the gear to help you land the big one. Plus, their expert team, led by Mark and Liz, provides rod and reel repair services. Bullseye Bait and Tackle, 266 Fort Zumwalt Square, or at bullseyebaitantackle.net.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm John Scott. Inflation cooled last month as the cost of gas, clothes, and used cars fell, providing some relief to consumers, though much of the progress could be reversed if the Iran war keeps worsening. Prices dropping 0.4% in June from May, the largest monthly drop in 4 years. Jordan's military says it intercepted 4 missiles that were launched by Iran. The attack came as Iran also targeted Bahrain on Tuesday morning, following a new round of American strikes targeting the Islamic Republic. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster naming Darlene Graham Nordone as her late brother Lindsey Graham's temporary replacement in the Senate. Meanwhile, national politics reporter Meg Kennard reports Senate colleagues are feeling Lindsey Graham's death personally.
Even though there are deep partisan divides when it comes to the issues, members of the Senate have been known to be pretty tight with one another across the aisle. And many Democrats and Republicans since Graham's death have taken to social media and done a number of news interviews reflecting on their work with him. And even if they disagreed on something, appreciation for his passion for the issues that he worked on.
National politics reporter Meg Kennard. Well, these are tough times for some dairy farmers in Vermont.
That's because some dairy processors gave up on the state. A recent wave of dairy plant closures highlighting pressures like high cost and aging infrastructure. Vermont dairy farms face an $8.65 loss per 100 pounds of milk, while California and Texas farmers are seeing profits. Elected officials are seeking reforms to support the industry, but the future remains very uncertain. Jason Walker reporting.
More on these stories from townhall.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free, no-risk consultation. 800-292-7875. 800-292-7875. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-292-7875.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Window World of St. Louis. For replacement windows, doors, and siding, call 800-GET-WINDOWS. That's 800-GET-WINDOWS. From the News Talk STL Weather Center.
I'm meteorologist Sham Scotch with your first alert forecast. We're going to be tracking temperatures near the 90-degree mark today. Sunny skies, looking mostly sunny into Wednesday, an isolated shower or two possible. Then as we head off into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, increased chances of some isolated showers and storms during the afternoon, early evening hours. Temperatures back towards the lower 90s, but could see the heat index climbing just shy of 100 degrees. We'll continue to track isolated chances of afternoon showers and storms into portions of next week as well. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Sham Scotch.
Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
All right, we're ready for hour number 2. Got Ward Clark coming up in just a sec from Red State. Drew Thomas Allen at the end of the hour. Dr. Randy Tobler. We can talk about Widowmakers.
Yeah.
With Dr. Tobler. Chat box at 1141. But Ken, right now, because we care about everyone's health. Okay?
We do, Vic.
We do send out thoughts and prayers for the most afflicted by Trump derangement syndrome.
It's an affliction.
That we do have a remedy for TDS. Don't you have that?
I do. Libs and never Trumpers. Do you wake up every morning to the ringing of Trump's voice in your head?
And we will soon be a great nation again.
Please go away.
If this describes you, you may suffer from moderate to severe Trump derangement syndrome, or TDS. This is a sad way to live, but there is hope. New MAGA Strength Trumpanol. With Trumpanol, you'll back the blue, lower taxes, believe in the First and Second Amendments again, and who knows, maybe even admit that Trump is your president.
I used to wake up in the morning with the sounds of the orange man screaming in my head. But ever since taking Trumpanol, the voices have gone quiet, and I can sleep again. Most of the time.
Magadonian approved.
I had it really bad, so I take the Ultra Maga Trumpanol with extra Kofifi. And now, instead of calling him criminal, I kind of like the bastard.
Feel great again with new Trumpanol. Side effects may include the desire to become pro-life, question the media, defund Ukraine, support Israel, wave the American flag, celebrate the 4th of July, close the border. Ask your doctor if Trumpanol is right for you. Make yourself great again with new Trumpanol.
There you go, Mitch. That's for you.
Yeah, Mitch. Take two at night.
Like a suppository, I think it is.
Take a suppository, stick them right up your. Hey, I think Ward Clark is
Hey,
here
Ward.
with us from Red State. Ward, how are you, buddy?
Hey guys, pretty good. Was having fun listening to your weather forecast. Boy, you're way outside operating specs down there. 49 degrees here right now.
How much?
49.
Wow.
Heat wave, huh?
Yeah.
Cooler
yeah.
than here, though.
Well, 49 is t-shirt weather in our part of Alaska.
Exactly right. All right, Ward, something really disturbs me about the story that you wrote recently. It's called Iran's Very Specific Plot to Assassinate President Trump, Foiled by Warning from Israeli Intelligence. Now, as an American, I would have hoped that they would have been alerted by our Secret Service. What happened there?
Well, pardon me. The Mossad has to have people all the way inside in Iran. I'd be amazed if they didn't. And you remember, these are the people that set up, just a few years ago, that famous pager operation, which I just loved, which took years of planning. They're very, very, very good. They know Iran is their number one existential threat. And they probably got a couple hundred people inside the Iranian government. So it's not surprising that Mossad found out about this first. And they did come right away to the United States and said, hey, we have indications. And bear in mind, when they may have known they might have been blowing an asset by warning us. And they were willing to do that, which says a lot right there.
Do you know about the chain of communication? Like, did the Israeli intelligence then say to our Secret Service, hey, there's a real threat, and then over to the White House? Or did they just skip right by the Secret Service?
No, apparently it went to the Secret Service, okay. and that's appropriate. And by what means, nobody's saying, nor should they. We don't need to know that. I presume that there's contacts between Mossad and probably through the CIA, I would guess, but I'm just guessing.
You're a military guy. You watch this stuff pretty closely. Do you trust the Secret Service right now?
On an institutional basis, I'd say I still do. I'd like to see some reforms in the Secret Service. We've had a couple of high-profile events, most notably Butler, Pennsylvania, where, frankly, the Secret Service just screwed up. That rooftop should have been cleared long before President Trump ever took that stage, then candidate Trump. But institutionally, I think the Secret Service has a great record. The second attempt by that nut on the golf course, a sharp-eyed Secret Service guy saw a little rifle muzzle poking through a bush, reacted exactly like he should have, and they arrested the guy.
So what about the correspondence dinner when you had Secret Service people hanging out with his arm hanging over the thing, trying to hit on the chicks, and then the guy runs right by him. By the way, the Secret Service guy ignored his dog. You always trust the dog, don't you?
Yeah.
He's in there. He's behind that door. And nobody said anything. And then the one guy...
Yeah, that was another major screw-up.
Yeah. And then when the guy ran past the Secret Service agent, he goes, oh, you gave me a fright. I was like, oh, my God, grab your weapon and shoot the guy.
There were three DC cops. I think there were DC cops standing there too, leaned up against the wall, and they just kind of watched the guy run through, like,
right.
hey, what just happened?
And
we've got to take. Yeah. We've got to take these things seriously. The difference being, Butler, Pennsylvania, that guy literally came within a whisker of killing a former president and presidential candidate. And then at the correspondence dinner, it could have ended up very differently. At least when they did respond, they took the guy down, before he could hurt any of his intended targets. But this deal with Iran is different. This is a nation state with all the resources of a nation state. It's a lot different than just some nut who bought a rifle and decided he was going to take a shot at a presidential candidate. They probably have operatives inside the United States. For 4 years, we saw the borders wide open. They were letting anybody in who wanted to come in. We know Iranian nationals crossed the border at that time. We know there's what is it? I want to say it's about 40,000 Iranian nationals in the country illegally. If 1% of those are operatives of some sort, then that's 400 people who are trained, who can certainly find equipment here. And if they made an attempt, it wouldn't be just one guy with a rifle. It'd be a team with a plan. And that's a whole different thing.
Yeah. Yesterday, guys, was the 2-year anniversary of the Butler, Pennsylvania incident, and people still, to this day, think he wasn't hit. It was a hoax. It was a setup.
Yeah.
Like the fireman, Compatori, just, came back to life, and, oh, no, you didn't kill me. Yeah, he did get killed. So I it's 2 years later, and people still can't get that story right.
Well, there's always the nuts out there. It's the same with Charlie Kirk. There, and we've got, I won't name her, but at least especially one egregious high-profile nut who's out there claiming, oh, no, they're lying about the whole thing. And what Butler, Pennsylvania gave us, the aside from a living presidential candidate, was the most powerful political image since Reagan at the Brandenburg Gate, when he came swarming up out of his Secret Service agents with his fist in the air and blood on his face, yelling, "Fight, fight, fight." That was an incredibly powerful image.
That's one of the things, Ward, that I think will go down in history. The history is going to be very kind to this president. I don't care what they say right now.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, he's probably the most consequential. Well, almost certainly the most consequential president of the first half of the 21st century, just like Reagan was the most was in the second half of the 20th century. He's on Reagan's level. Now, his style, of course, is completely different than Reagan's. He's acerbic, mercurial. He can be prickly. He isn't a polished speaker, although he always manages to get his point across very clearly. Reagan was, the happy warrior type. He was always smiling. He was always cheerful. He was always optimistic. But they were the right presidents for their time. And Donald Trump, I really think he's the president we needed right now.
Your article is great on the very specific plot to assassinate the president. There was another article by one of your colleagues, Streif. How do you say that? Streif?
I think it's Streif.
Streif. His article is called "You Can Run, but You Just Die Tired." Secretive Israeli unit has killed over 2,500 October 7th Hamas terrorists, and the first thing he references is what I reference all the time, the 1972 Munich Olympics, when Mossad found almost every single one of those terrorists and killed them.
Yeah, and they're doing it now with the October attackers, and great. This is exactly what they should do. The message to anybody who participated in that horrendous atrocity should be from the Israeli Defense Forces and from the Mossad, saying there is no hole so deep that you can hide in that we won't find you, and when we do, we aren't going to arrest you and put you on trial. We're going to kill you. That's the way Israel has operated. And when you're a country that size, surrounded by people who want you dead, that's the prudent thing to do. That's how they should operate. They can't afford to show any mercy to these people, and those people certainly won't show any mercy to them.
Talking to Ward Clark, the Greatlander on X, at the Greatlander on X, and he's with Red State. Ward, I know we're talking specifically about an assassination attempt on President Trump. Let's broaden that a little bit. What are your thoughts on the possibility even continuing as we go down this road? Because you've got a left that right now is almost the media, the opposing party. They're all almost cheering the death of this president.
Yeah, there's a very, very disturbing rise of political violence and advocacy for political violence, and it's all coming from the left. Here's what the left doesn't understand. The people, at least the left who are pushing this. There are people on the left who are not.
Right.
And say,
Correct.
We absolutely abhor any, but there's a growing number that are. And what they don't understand, the preponderance of this nation's military veterans are on the right. The vast majority of the nation's 200 million legal gun owners are on the right.
Yes.
Most of the active military are right of center, except for some of the senior officers, the ones that survived the Obama purges. And if they were able to start something, it would not end the way they think it will at all. At all. And the difference between the left and the right is the left tends to see violence as a dial they can turn, from 1 to 10. 1 being peaceful operations, 10 being, basically, let's call it civil war. But the right tends to see it as a switch. It's a binary. One position is peaceful operations is normal. The other one is we're killing all of you. And they don't want, and nobody wants that to happen. Nobody should want that to happen. But they don't get that.
Well, Ward, we say in this show all the time that we believe that the citizenry of America is the largest active army in the world by far, but like 10 times larger than any other country in the world.
Yeah. Look at the platform. You can find it online. The Democratic Socialists of America. There should be a story coming out this morning on Red State about more from their agenda. Those people want to tear the Constitution apart. They want to abolish the Senate. They want to abolish the Supreme Court. They want to abolish the presidency. They want a dictatorship of a Politburo, basically, is what the House of Representatives would become under their power. I mean, they're telling you exactly what they're willing to do. They're telling us it's all right there in writing, and we need to take them seriously because they mean it.
You absolutely mean it. So meanwhile, on the Iran, us attacking them for it, which I'd much rather talk about sometimes than them trying to kill our president. President Trump talking about a very major attack on Iran tonight.
So we have them in a position that they don't have any military. There's not a thing they can do about it. All they have is fake news because they have the fake news, would rather see us lose the war than win the war, which is really treasonous, in a certain way. So we're doing another very major attack tonight. They want to make a deal. They came back. We made a deal 2 days ago, and they want to make a deal. They've been negotiating for 47 years, but nobody's ever hit them militarily. We're hitting them very hard. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much.
What, they were all going to try to discredit what he said, Ward?
They're going to try, and he's correct. Iran has very little left. Every drone they expend, they can't replace. Every missile they shoot, they can't replace. Now, we're burning through our stocks of ordnance as well, but we've got more, and we're making more, which they can't do right now. Some video yesterday, I think it was yesterday, on an attack on their some of their naval ports. We're using 35-knot unmanned sea drones to go in and blow up docks and installations. If they had a machine gun on the water, they could stop those things, but they can't. All they can do is just watch them come in and blow up.
When is
That's
a leader?
The state they're in right now, and they can't go on much longer.
Well, think about this, guys. When has a leader of a country ever been able to telegraph? Yeah, tonight we're going to go ahead and do this because they have nothing to fight back with. So he's like, President Trump even said, he's like, well, they have nothing, so I can say what we're going to do. And I think what he's doing, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong here, guys, but isn't he telegraphing to the Iranian people, get out of certain areas because we're going to bomb them?
Look at Ken thinking like a military guy.
Yeah, that's very likely it. I heard him yesterday in another interview saying, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but they can't do anything, so there's no harm in it. I'm going to tell you exactly where we're going to hit them, and he did, and they can't respond. They're cooked.
You know what's funny about Iran?
They can't keep this up.
What's funny about Iran is they're like the bully who takes your lunch money every day at school, and then you go home and you tell your dad, this bully takes my lunch money every day, and your father says, pop him in the face one time and it won't happen anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
And now that's what we're doing. Yeah. We're popping him in the face in a big way.
Yeah. And the other side of that, going back to the disturbing thing that we'd prefer not to talk about, if they ever did succeed in that, the fire that would rain down upon their country would be like nothing we've seen since World War II.
Oh, that's a big statement considering Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I don't think we'd throw a hot rock at them. We don't need to.
Yeah.
We don't need to.
Yep.
Remember what we did to Dresden with just conventional bombs.
Yep. All right, Ward. Did you know Ward is a 12-year veteran of the U.S. Army?
Thank you for your service,
12
Ward.
years.
Well, in the reserves a lot of that time, but
I don't care. You serve.
I wore the colors.
You just take your accolades and you be on your way, young man.
Hey,
all righty.
Hey, Ward, how can people get a hold of you and your information and your articles and
this
everything?
article? Yeah.
Well, at Red State, you can just look for my name, and you can find me on Twitter and Truth Social at The Great Lander.
Yeah,
there
you
you
bet.
go.
The Great Lander, Ward Clark. Ward, thanks so much, man. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Always love to be on with you.
See you, buddy.
12 years.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
a veteran right there.
You might be able to find him in the bush sometime, but you don't want. I wouldn't prefer that.
I got
waiting
news
on
for
you.
You're not going to see him.
No,
You're
right?
not going to see him in the bush because you're going to be dead
Right.
already. Ward Clark, the great Ward Clark. And if you're watching the stream, that's the picture he took right after killing a few Chechnyan rebels. No, I just make that up for fun. But I bet he's killed him. Yeah.
But the cool thing is, here we are in St. Louis and Missouri and Illinois, and we're talking to a guy up in Alaska. That's just so fun.
Where it's 49 degrees.
Right.
I would welcome that right now.
Heat wave.
Yeah. 5 years, live and local conservative talk. News Talk STL went on the air July 19th, 2021, and we're giving you the gifts. See how that works? A limited edition America 250 News Talk STL t-shirt. Just go to News Talk STL to register to win. Nick Lowe, they called it rock.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
Smitty Werbin Jaegerman Jensen.
True international average of pressure.
Smitty Werbin Jaegerman Jensen.
No, he doesn't involve our institution.
I just...
She knows so long as
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Let's take a break.
Good idea.
Hey, Tom, what are you doing on that Amendment 4?
You know, we fought for our freedom and rights. I'm not giving them away without a fight.
4 takes them?
That's exactly what 4 does. For over 100 years, Missouri voters have used our constitutional power to act when the politicians refused. I'll be darned if I'm voting to pass on less freedom and power to my kids.
And doesn't 4 also kill majority rule?
Yup. Creates minority rule, or just 5% of the most liberal statewide voters in one Missouri congressional district that block any citizen-led reform, making it nearly impossible to pass common-sense conservative citizen ballot measures.
That's crazy town stuff.
And we've needed our citizen ballot measure power to pass some big conservative stuff, like outlawing tax hikes without voter approval, lobbyist reforms, and term limits for career politicians.
No way I'm letting a tiny fraction of liberals derail our conservative power. I've no on Amendment 4.
Hard no on 4.
Pay 4 buttons every inch per fair governance.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness One. Wellness One is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common-sense science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on Newstalk STL. And you can visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
all the information I need on the drive to work.
Mike Ferguson in the morning. I keep it on throughout the day, whether it's local, national, or something big that's happening overseas.
News, analysis, and opinion.
St. Louis is #1 for conservative talk.
NewstalkSTL.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019.
Well, I came upon the child of God. He was walking along the road.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
On NewstalkSTL.
All right. So this is Smithsonian National Museum of American History. See, this is why we had this conversation recently, Ken, on what kids are going to learn in history class 50 years from now.
Yeah.
You know what I watched yesterday? It was one of those videos that shows a certain city starting with like 3000 BC. 3000 BC. Basically cavemen. And it was a video that moved real fast. What do they call that when they show a building going up real fast?
I don't know. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So it started with 2000 BC. And then it's funny, back then was Islam.
No. Islam started around 610.
Maybe that was when it was. Because the thing goes real fast, too. The years move around real fast. But I was like, oh, my God, Islam. That didn't happen 47 years ago. It happened a long time
Right.
ago.
Long time. Yeah.
But
and actually, they always lean on the Christian Crusades, how they were the ones who were violent. Well, actually, the Crusades were actually started because of Islamists killing Christians for 400 years. They got tired of it and said, we've got to do something about this.
Yeah. And it was one place. It was New York City, actually. New York City, 4000 BC, up to the present. And it got a little boring after a while because it was just people moving around, and every picture looked the same to me. And then when you get into the 20th century, it's one corner of New York City, like Times Square.
Yeah.
I don't know. I expected more from it. And I didn't. I don't know. I watched it. Let me tell you. So the history that kids are going to learn in school, we hear about how kids can't read at their grade level, right? Big topic right now.
Yeah.
Homeschool your kids so they can read like you can read, right?
Right.
Do math. Okay, I can't do this. I can't do math at my grade level. But, those are two finite things. Math and reading are finite things. You can't screw with either one of those.
They've tried. You remember the woke math? They actually attempted to say 2 + 2 = 5. It was bizarre. I'm not even going to go into it. But they actually, in the middle of the Biden administration, were saying, yeah, this is where we're going to go.
So what about history? See, that's a subjective thing. You're learning history depending upon what your teacher is going to read to you.
Yes.
Is going to tell you.
So important.
And the kids are not getting the true story right now because of DEI, because of being inclusive and all that stuff.
So growing up, one of my things, and this was before there were bucket lists, right? But as a kid, I just wanted so badly to eventually someday go to the Smithsonian Institute. Just go there. Go to the Smithsonian and all of its libraries and just museums, whatever it is. I don't know exactly because I'd never been there. But as a kid, I thought, man, it has everything. It has everything historical about the United States, and I'll be able to see it firsthand, right? Then I start reading these articles within the last year about how woke and far left they've become because of the indoctrination of the Obama and Biden administrations. And even through the Trump era of 2016 through 2019, 2020, he couldn't do a whole lot about it because of how they were hamstringing him at every turn.
Absolutely.
Right? So now he is doing something about it. And I think that's a great thing. What he's doing, though, think about it. They say, well, they're moving him, they're moving the Smithsonian to the right. They're not. Do you know what the right means? You know, to the right, when the left says, well, they're going far right, that means they're going to the truth. Truly, if you are telling the truth and basing everything on facts, that's right wing.
Yeah. It's, you know, when I started here, if you remember, there was a guy who listened to me on the river for all those years, being a DJ, and he goes, I'm really disappointed that you're on a right-wing radio station. I was like, it's not right-wing.
No, it's
telling
not.
the truth. But they also think they're never wrong. They're always right.
Oh, never wrong.
You know?
And I'm not always. Some people will say, well, you're a Republican. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not. I've never been a Republican.
I don't know why you're so afraid to say that you are.
But I'm not.
What are you?
I'm just an independent-minded person. It's common sense, I think. I'm a common sense conservative. I just base everything on the Constitution and try and move forward with that.
I think every Republican should do just that.
Yeah, I agree. And that's when we get information, like what we were talking about earlier, we do research stuff.
Yeah.
And I always try to get the facts, not, well, is this right-wing enough for our listeners?
Right.
You know, I mean, we don't want to go too far left on this. Hey, look, you know, sometimes we've reported about things that Donald Trump did.
Yep.
And didn't not quite like and said, you know what, he needs to do this differently. Well, that's just facts. That's not left or right wing.
So using the Smithsonian Museum's leader's own words, the report clearly documents how the museum has shifted its mission from history to woke activism, with exhibits that reject America's heritage and reframe history through a DEI agenda, fail to showcase America's founding era except for castigating the founders as slave owners, promote sexual images and inappropriate material for young children, promote pro-abortion messaging, demand the abolishment of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, and refuse to celebrate America's 250th birthday or America's founders. So all this stuff, Ken, if you disagree with any of this stuff, you're a racist.
Yeah, period. If you walk into the Smithsonian and you don't agree with something, or if you think it's leaning one way to the left, then you're just a racist, period. You know, I've been to museums for Vietnam. I've been to museums about the civil rights movement. I've been to museums about the Civil War. And I appreciate the fact that a museum is ready to display the bad with the good. America's never been perfect, and it's learned through the 250 years of its existence. But you've got to learn. And if you don't learn, if you don't pivot when you do learn, there's something wrong. But America has grown and become what it is today because it did learn. Okay, but the way they're portraying it at the Smithsonian right now, Vic, it's just all bad. America really never was a great country.
So the Smithsonian, is that where they have the original Constitution and Declaration of Independence?
I've never been there. I don't know.
Maybe that's the I can't think of it. But you know, here's where we're right and they're wrong, okay? Depending upon what you're teaching your children. Let's start with, if your kid can't read or write in cursive, they'll never be able to read the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution, and maybe that's their plan. Make it so that kids can't read it, so they don't understand the principles of the founding of this country.
That's a great point. And someone will say, well, you know, you can transpose it digitally and then kids can read it then. But yeah, you transpose it, guess what? You can change it.
Yeah.
If they can't read the actual script that was written on the original document, then it can be changed. And I think what you're talking about there makes more sense with that mindset.
Thanks, Ken.
You're welcome, Vic.
So I just think that the Smithsonian now has lost the credibility with me that they've had, that I had in them for so long.
Right, growing up, you know,
Like they were saying,
the Smithsonian. if you had something like the Spirit of St. Louis airplane, okay, that's at the Smithsonian.
Oh.
I thought, well, I've got to see that.
Right.
I mean, it's amazing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got the Apollo mission modules. They're there. My father worked at McDonnell Douglas. I always aspired to go there and see that because my dad worked on them.
Yeah.
You know, and just moon rocks. I mean, let's just go down the list of things. Anything that you loved as a kid or teenager, anything that favored you growing up, is there.
So let me ask
the
you.
way they
I'm
put
sorry.
these, but it's just the way they put the spin on everything. They'll talk about the Civil War, for example. Okay, now they should be mentioning the fact that the Democrats were the ones who fought for slavery. They wanted slavery, and it became the Republican Party started to combat that. The Union soldiers died. Over 300,000 of them died to stop slavery. The abolitionists, the Democrats were against that. Okay, you talk about Juneteenth. It was Democrats that had the final slaves that didn't know that they were freemen. Okay, so when you go to the Smithsonian, you're not going to see that. What you're going to see is that these people were, downtrodden because of this terrible nation. You need all the information.
Yeah. So let me ask you, I know you've never been there, but have you seen pictures specifically of the Spirit of St. Louis and the moon module? Have you seen the picture of them? Are they hanging up like
at the
they're
Smithsonian?
at the airport?
Yeah, they're. I think they're hanging up.
Like at the airport. Because they got a Spirit of St. Louis
I'm
hanging
not
at the airport.
No, you know what? I've seen them at the airport. I've never seen. I don't think I've seen pictures of
Like
them.
I wonder
there.
if the module's right
Yeah,
there.
I bet it is.
And you
Vic.
can look inside and see what it
that's
looks
the thing. That's what's so awesome about the idea of the Smithsonian. But now, after everything you're reading about them recently, they're so indoctrinating to an ideology that just is not true.
So this is maybe, I don't want to say the problem, but, Charles Lindbergh flew around the world by himself in a plane that had nothing, not even a cover to cover him up. Like planes now go so high that if you broke the window, you'd get sucked out the window, So he wasn't that high. Am I right?
I think so. I'm
pretty sure. And then Apollo astronauts, are you kidding me? Who has the guts to do that? Get into a module or a rocket that shoots you into space. Anything can go wrong right from all the fire and fury that happens at the bottom of a rocket.
Well, not only that, but they knew that there were people who died before them in those capsules.
Mercury and stuff.
Yeah. So they knew that the potential was there, but they still got in there and strapped in.
Like kids have to have that courage, that bravery to do that. It's just like serving in the military to me, Ken. You have to have that bravery and that courage to get in that thing and shoot up into the sky, into space, or to be Charles Lindbergh and fly around the world in that little stupid plane. It looks like Snoopy, World War I flying ace in a Sopwith Camel.
Yes. The bottom line is, Vic, the Smithsonian needs to display everything and not give an opinion, but let people see it.
Is it too late to do what you're saying?
No, I think President Trump has his policy, his administration, I think, is going to try and straighten it out before he leaves. And maybe, God willing, if we vote another, I would say, common sense conservative group in, they'll continue the process of making it just information, a museum, taking the good and the bad of this country and making it on display for the people to see the truth.
You're right. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Stream the Vic Porcelli Show at NewstalkSTL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Forget about it.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's NewstalkSTL.
If you have a phone, you have a radio. Download the all-new NewstalkSTL app.
Love the all-new app.
And listen anytime, anywhere.
NewstalkSTL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Bunny Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on the St. Louis radio airways for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can now hear Doug and Safe Bunny Radio every weekend on NewstalkSTL. But in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeBunnyRadio.com. What else do our listeners need to know, Doug?
Simply put, I focus on helping pre-retirees and retirees build, preserve, and protect retirement assets, and I've been helping my clients solve their insurance and financial needs for the past 33 years. I also strive to educate my clients on how to prepare for retirement, minimize the impact of market volatility on their assets, and deal with the challenges of increased longevity. Call me today at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Hey, it's Chris Arps. Becky and I recently discovered a restaurant that's quickly become one of our go-to restaurants, Timothy's in Creve Coeur. Led by executive chef Will Mabry, Timothy's serves contemporary American cuisine with a touch of Southern charm. Dishes like pastrami, smoked lamb, and shrimp and grits. My wife absolutely loved the lobster pot pie, and everything we've tried has been incredible. Amazing house-made desserts and over 500 wines to choose from. Enjoy dinner 7 nights a week, plus lunch, brunch, and private events. Timothy's in Creve Coeur at 12710 Olive Boulevard or online at timothysstl.com.
Fox News commentary with Tommy Lahren. Next.
Most investments today feel like second jobs. Real estate, you're a landlord. Stocks, you're a day trader. Crypto, you're a full-time researcher. You've got a life to live. Your investment should help you live it. That's why more Americans are choosing gold. Noble Gold has helped thousands protect their future with real physical gold. Visit NobleGoldInvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit. That's NobleGoldInvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Tommy Lahren reacts to The View co-host Sunny Hostin saying American flags in certain communities make her feel unsafe.
I think that she's totally off base there, and I think that she's saying it for effect. But I also will say so many liberals, right, if they see an American flag, they associate that with somebody being a conservative or being a Trump supporter. And it's not that they feel unsafe, that they're going to be harmed or hurt in any way. It's that they can't stand the fact that there are people around them who might disagree with them politically. They need a safe space. They must be surrounded by fellow Democrats, communists, socialists, the Hamas or Palestine flag. That's what they need around them to feel safe and secure. They cannot be challenged on their ideas. So that's like somebody like Sunny Hostin. She doesn't want to go into a neighborhood with American flags because she relates that to conservatives being in the neighborhood.
For more commentary like this, go to foxnewspodcast.com.
Colombo and Company.
We are exactly 3 weeks away from the all-important August primary elections in Missouri. We'll talk about the impact of this vote Tuesday, plus Crane Durham, Susie Moore, and AI expert Mike McClary.
Live and local, weekdays at 2
on NewstalkSTL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Hey, see that, kids? That's the St. Louis Arch, the gateway to the west. It's over 600 feet tall, and there's an elevator all the way to the top. That's 60 stories, you and me.
Wow, Dad, can we go up on it?
No.
On Newstalk STL.
One of my favorite lines in movie history. Dad, can we go up in it? Nope. Sorry. So, can we preface this next conversation with California is now ranked the third worst state to move to?
Yeah.
Doesn't our next guest live in California?
Drew Allen of the Drew Allen Show podcast.
It's people who love this country and respect freedom and want to preserve it for the future. You know, it really shouldn't be political.
Amico mio, come stai?
Ciao, buongiorno, Ciccio. Sono molto contento.
Una mattina. Good morning, Drew Thomas Allen. How are you, baby?
Hey, good morning. I'm good.
Drew is the author of For Christ and Country, The Martyrdom of Charlie Kirk, and The Clinton Hoax, Obama Coup, the declassified story of the Trump-Russia delusion. So I think you heard what I just said there, Drew. California is the third worst state to move to. Get the hell out of there.
Yeah, I had seen that headline. I didn't read it yet. I was curious, though. Do you know what the two states that are worse than California are?
No,
I don't.
I'm not quizzing you. I'm just curious. I just wonder what they were, because I mean, I just can't imagine there's actually worse states living than California. Except maybe the weather here is the only thing that saves it and makes it number 3 instead of number 1 worst place, right? Because you could,
I'm sure New York is in there somewhere.
Yeah, the weather's pretty amazing. I would say probably somewhere in there, Illinois and New York, possibly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, terrible governance with places where, you get snowstorms all the time and whatnot. But yeah. It's I don't honestly, guys. I'm pretty close to pulling the trigger on getting out of here.
Ooh.
I gotta confess to you. I just went and spent. Well, I talked to you from there last week. I guess I was in Idaho with my father-in-law, and it's tough because, and I gotta tell you, this is in response to what you're talking about with this being the third worst state to live in, because you got to push people pretty far to want to leave California, just based on the factors that Gavin Newsom and Democrats don't have control over: the beauty, the weather, the natural resources, et cetera. And I just, I went out to Star, Eagle area, it's outside of Boise. And, I'd been out there years before. My father-in-law's been living there for a while. And, my first thought years ago was like, man, it's just so ugly here compared to California. Because truthfully, I mean, where I am in particular, but lots of parts of California, like you go anywhere and you're not going to find that kind of beauty, right? And this time I went back and it looked a lot more attractive, I got to tell you. I mean, just going to the grocery store, we saved a fortune. Water, electricity, basically like free compared to where I am. Housing prices, even though there's a big boom there, it's just unbelievable what you can get. And you start to weigh the factors, and I see the news stories every single day, just like the story you're talking about, but other things about what this Newsom's doing on his way out, if Becerra gets in. I mean, it's just like you got to be kind of a masochist to stay here at some point,
Well, they're in such control there, the Democrats I'm talking about, Drew, and we have this article. It's insanity. Steve Hilton uncovers why police can't clear L.A.'s homeless camps. They can't because of regulations, and they have these groups of people that come in, like from NGOs and all that, and they say, oh, no, we're going to take you to court till the end of time if you try to remove any of these homeless people. If Steve Hilton, for example, becomes governor, he could just go in there and say, I don't care what you NGOs think you're going to do. We're clearing the streets right now and sending these people to places where they can get help or they can get moved out, but they're not going to be here. Couldn't he do that?
Yeah, I mean, that's what's tough. I mean, yeah, I think he could probably do that, but he's so limited. That's the thing. I mean, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but like if there's a miracle in which Steve Hilton wins, he's still got a Democrat supermajority state legislature that won't allow him to pass a single piece of legislation. Yeah. And so, much of what they've done is legislative. That's the problem with California is they have put many of these things into law because they're such lunatics. And everything they do is against the citizen. It's pro-corruption. It's pro-illegal immigrant. It's anti-citizen, anti-resident. And, whether it's like the Nick Shirley thing, he uncovers fraud, and what do? They go and sign a law that makes it possible to prosecute people like Nick Shirley who uncover fraud.
Yeah.
So it's just such a corrupt state. And, if it wasn't so expensive, but, it's like all the electricity's not getting, like nothing is going in the right direction. It's just getting harder and harder and harder to live. And as somebody who's just raising two young kids, I mean, it's actually heartbreaking because my kids love the school they're in. We love our friends and community, but, it's not worth it. I mean, I could almost go live in the Sahara Desert, I could justify that almost, versus staying here. It's like I could live in the ugliest place ever because it's not California, and I don't care anymore because it's like at some point, you just have to ask yourself what you're doing. Like, why are you suffering?
Mm-hmm.
What are you getting for the suffering? And I'm getting really close to the point where I just say I'm not getting anything.
Well, here's an interesting contrast, Drew. We were just talking about the Smithsonian Museum, and the things that they're putting in there is a left woke history of America, and it depends upon who you talk about, and it depends upon who is talking to our kids what story they get. So to answer your question, what are the worst states for quality of life? CNBC has Tennessee as the worst.
What?
Wait, it gets worse. It gets worse. Number 2, Texas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just down in Tennessee. Yeah, well.
Indiana, Louisiana, and Georgia. So
I wonder what their criteria are. I mean, this would be stuff I actually sincerely want to dig into. That's fascinating. I mean, it's outrageous. It's so insane. The quality of life in California is far worse than Texas and everywhere else because you cannot afford to live.
Yeah.
Is that not the definition of quality of life? Oh, look, the breeze feels so good, but I'm like starving like an Ethiopian. But it's so beautiful, so the quality of life is good. What the heck?
However, Drew,
if you're talking about
Drew, however, think about it. Well, the breeze is great, and if I was homeless,
right.
I wouldn't have to pay for any of this crap. I'd be getting actually money.
And this breeze is making me so much money. I'm like rich now.
Guys. Maybe in the fine text or something, it's like they're talking about the quality of life for illegals or something and homeless people, not actual residents. Maybe that's what they're talking about because, the quality of life's pretty good if you're homeless or an illegal in California. You've got rights that no one else has.
And you don't have to pay for anything. And, you still get the good weather.
We're talking to Drew.
Yeah, and you still got the good weather.
Right.
Oh, man, it's good to be. What am I doing? I got to get homeless.
You were talking about the Sahara Desert. It's a dry heat. Drew Thomas Allen is the author of 2 great books. We'll let you know the titles at the end of our conversation. So now, guys, same story, CNBC, worst states based on moving and relocation data. Worst state, New Mexico, Louisiana, California, Arkansas, and Oklahoma.
They're moving out of the areas?
If you focus strictly on moving data, affordability, and safety trends, the annual Consumer Affairs Migration Report ranks a different set of states at the bottom due to high crime, out-migration, and severe cost of living crisis. Yes, I think it's moving out of these states. So,
man, well, I can actually, I read a lot about Louisiana. I mean, that's a state that's, the cities like New Orleans obviously are run by Democrats in those big rural areas. So, Louisiana's tough. They got bad weather, too, and the hurricanes.
Yeah,
like Houston.
yeah.
I don't know. Houston might be the worst. I mean, I don't mean to offend anybody. I'm a Texan, but Houston may be one of the worst places you could live in America because there's, like, no redeeming weather qualities, It's, like, humid, and you get hurricanes, and it's like that's got to be one of the roughest places.
But Louisiana does have Senator John Kennedy. Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Yes. Who's a hoot?
Talks about people who have a IQ of a parking meter. Kind of like him.
You wonder if he sits up at night and just like writes down all these lines and he's just waiting to use them on TV.
I wouldn't doubt it. Ronald Reagan used to have like a Dewey Decimal System thing where the draws came out for jokes depending upon where he was going to be speaking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, if you leave, do you think you're going to Idaho, or do you have another place in mind?
No, I think it'd be Idaho. I mean, the big thing for us is we've been raising 2 kids by ourselves with zero help for 3.5 years. We don't get to go on dates. We don't get to do anything, so we don't get to prioritize our relationship. Yeah. You didn't know that you guys were doing like a now y'all are like a psychology show, but a relationship show. But no, it's like my father-in-law's there, and you have to weigh your grandparents. And honestly, my father-in-law is the most useful of our grandparents. I love all of them, but he's the most useful and helpful. And you just think about that and just the idea. I mean, that's the thing. You're married. It's like you want to prioritize your relationship and stuff too. Like, that takes big precedent. So the idea that you have someone responsible who can finally help you, that wants to be a part of the grandkid's life, who wants to pick them up from school or take them or offer to watch them and you can trust them. I mean, we've never had that, and all of our friends do have that, and their lives are much different than ours. And so it's just time to, I think, get off the island.
Well, we did the same thing. Jessica and I are from New Jersey, and we moved 900 miles away, so my kids never really had grandparents.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but what are you going to do? This is where the opportunity was for me to work.
But I can see where if Drew had that opportunity to move his family closer to family,
Of course.
that's possibly the goal for most families, I would think. I mean, my kids, they all moved out. One's up in Zion, one's down in Arkansas, actually, and that's an amazing area. Drew, we were just talking about today about Missouri and everything, how people, if they don't lower those taxes, people are just going to keep moving out. And what they're doing is they're moving to these small towns, and they're basically just giving them an influx of cash. And these little small towns now are growing, but they're doing it, in their own pace. So it's not like it's exploding, but they're doing really well with these small towns. I'm referring to down in Arkansas right now.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I mean, people are looking for other things and opportunities now. It's been going on for a while, but honestly, it's more the American dream, And like the Idaho people moving out there, it's interesting because there aren't Democrats. I played golf one day, and one of the guys that joined our group, who's a single, he just had a new baby, and he'd moved from California, and I was like, uh-oh. And he said, no, I'm super conservative. He said, as a matter of fact, everyone I talked to, I haven't met anybody who's not conservative out here. But there is a sense of community, a lot of kids and things like that. And, I work remote. So, because I'm not tethered to a specific place, it's kind of like, why not try and make my life a little bit easier?
That's awesome.
That's the way to do it. We don't really have time to talk about it, but there's a story that we've been talking about for a while. You know what? We don't have time for it. We'll do it another day. Let's talk about just a tease. Drew has two great books he wants you to read. Well, we want you to read.
Yeah, absolutely.
Drew's great books. For Christ and Country is the martyrdom of Charlie Kirk, and also For Christ and Country and Clinton Hoax, Obama Coup, the declassified story of the Trump-Russia delusion. All right, listen.
Yeah, well, go read For Christ and Country, because with Candace Owens flapping her mouth and all this second assassination of Charlie Kirk's legacy, the book I wrote is important because it actually preserves his legacy and talks about what we should be doing.
So go get it. Get Drew's book, read all about it. And even though that event happened, how many years ago now, Charlie Kirk? 2 years? 1 year? 2 years?
2
years.
Almost one.
Yeah, almost one. Yeah, it's for last year. Just
10 months or so. Yeah.
And you'll be right up.
It feels longer.
You'll be right up to date reading For Christ and Country. All right, Drew, listen, have a great week. We'll talk next Tuesday. Always appreciate you, man.
All right, love y'all. Y'all are the best. Talk soon. Bye.
Thanks, brother.
I'm sorry, what did he say?
You're the best.
Oh, I'll be damned.
He's the best, man. I wish there was nothing but the best for him and his family, whatever they decide to do.
Yeah. So we're going to talk to Dr. Tobler next. After that, though, Ken, I want to talk about Alan Dershowitz.
Oh, okay.
Because my first experience watching and listening to Alan Dershowitz on TV, crazy liberal lawyer. And now, I don't know, he's seen the light. I don't know. What do you say? He's certainly turned the ship around.
Just like John Fetterman, they see the facts. They see the truth. And they say, well, I'm a Democrat. However, I do agree this is common sense right here.
Well, he says Mondani should be Tehran's mayor in Iran.
And he expands on that, I believe.
He says Jews who voted for him are idiots. So we'll get into the head of Alan Dershowitz coming up at 11:25 on News Talk STL.
Whoosh.
When decisions matter most, experience isn't optional. As a former SWAT commander, Tim Whitney has led Under Pressure. Today, as Undersheriff and Chief Financial Officer, he helps lead hundreds of employees, manages one of the county's largest budgets, and protects taxpayers with conservative accountability.
I'm Tim Whitney, and I'd be honored to earn your vote. Together we can support responsible growth, strengthen public safety, protect taxpayers, and preserve the character that makes Jefferson County home.
Paid for by friends of Tim Whitney. Heather Missy, Treasurer.
When Donald Trump needs conservative votes to help pass his agenda for Missouri, Representative Trisha Burns never answers the call. Trisha Burns has missed 370 votes. Burns is bucking President Trump's priorities. Burns did not vote to stop DEI initiatives, prevent China from owning Missouri land, defund Planned Parenthood, and Burns did not vote to ban boys from girls' sports. Trisha Burns not showing up for Missouri and President Trump. Instead, Trisha Burns spends her time pulling pranks on the Suicide Prevention Hotline. Yes, you heard that right. Trisha Burns lied to the police and staged a fake suicide emergency. She sent a series of messages to the hotline and said she, quote, had a gun to her head, end quote. When she got caught, she said there'd be no consequences because she's a politician. By August 4th, vote to show Trisha Burns that there are consequences to being bad at your job. Cut the Bull Pack paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at NewstalkSTL.com.
News this hour at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump telling reporters last night at the Oval Office that the U.S. military was carrying out more strikes in Iran as it reinstates that blockade in the Strait of Hormuz.
We're hitting them very heavy tonight, as you know. We have tremendous amounts of ammunition. We have numbers that we haven't had in years. And we're hitting them very hard, and it'll continue, and we'll see what happens.
Meanwhile, the president is upgrading his plan to recoup the U.S. investment for securing the strait.
I want to be reimbursed because we're protecting a very rich portion of the world. We're spending money. And so what we've done is we are going to be reimbursed for protection.
But the president now says rather than charging the planned 20% U.S. reimbursement fee, Gulf states instead will agree to make investments into the U.S. economy. French firefighters battling to stop a major forest blaze burning near Paris from erupting again.
Bigger fires have been ravaging areas of southern France, but the Fontainebleau fire is exceptionally close to the densely populated region surrounding Paris. Hundreds of firefighters are battling two blazes in the Fontainebleau forest south of the capital, and working hard to prevent it from getting larger again. Rescue Operations Commander Sébastien Avanal tells the AP, we're really working on the perimeter, and the perimeter of the fire is 23 kilometers. That's 15 miles. That just gives you an idea of the scale of this disaster. The goal is to try to secure it by tonight, meaning we are certain that it will no longer spread. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
U.S. inflation cooled last month as costs of gas, clothing, and used cars fell, providing some relief to consumers, though much of the progress could be reversed soon if the Iran war keeps getting any worse. Between May and June, prices dropped by 0.4%. That was the largest monthly drop seen in 4 years. On Wall Street at this hour, the Dow struggling, down 101 points. The NASDAQ is up 185. More of these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Christian Healthcare Ministries is not another health insurance policy. If you're tired of year-long contracts and pointless restrictions, CHM offers anytime enrollment on your schedule and at your convenience. With CHM, you're paying half the cost of a traditional health insurance plan. So that puts more money back into your budget for everyday needs. Plus, you'll have access to CHM's care solutions for virtual appointments, prescription savings, surgery support, and more. My family and I joined in 2018, and it's changed our lives for the better. We love paying way less while helping other believers afford their medical bills. Take the leap of faith and see why Christians across the nation are better with CHM.
Get started by calling 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS for a 50% credit towards your first month. That's 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Chris Arps here, and after Becky and I leave church on Sunday, we head down the street to Capriotti's to grab a classic meatball sub. I love Capriotti's, and you will too. Visit Capriotti's now at 2 locations on Manchester, McKnight, and Rock Hill, and now in Creve Coeur on Olive, just 1 mile west of 270.
You work hard, follow the rules, and get absolutely slammed by taxes. Your paycheck, taxed. Your property, taxed. Everything you buy, taxed. Missouri's tax system isn't broken, it's rigged against you. The lawyers and lobbyists working for big corporations and the super rich buried over 200 loopholes for themselves in our tax code. While they pay nothing on the services they use, working families are taxed over and over. It's no wonder they're lying about Amendment 5. Our corrupt tax system is rigged in their favor. They're getting a free ride on your back. Don't believe their lies. The truth is, Amendment 5 closes loopholes exploited by the super rich and slashes taxes paid by Missouri's working families, phasing out income taxes and cutting property taxes. They finally pay what they owe while you keep what you earn. Vote yes on Amendment 5, paid for by Missouri Promise PAC.
Connor Roofing, you can count on Connor. Connor Roofing is now a 2-time winner of the National Best of the Best Award for customer satisfaction for roofing, storm damage restoration, siding, gutters, both residential and commercial. Please visit ConnorRoofing.com for an estimate. And remember, you can count on Connor.
Hey, it's Susie Moore for Window World. Did you know that in just over the last 20 years, Window World of St. Louis has improved the look and thermal efficiency for over 80,000 customers in St. Louis? Plus, Window World windows come with a lifetime warranty that covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor. And now, Window World is offering 36 months, same-as-cash financing with approved credit. Call them today at 800-GET-WINDOWS for a free in-home, no-pressure estimate. That's Window World at 800-GET-WINDOWS. They're the preferred window of the St. Louis Blues.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by the Trolley Stop Bakery, the official bakery of the Vic Porcelli Show. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
A 3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour. The weather started getting rough.
We squeeze in a dry hump day under partly sunny skies.
From New Jersey to Baldwin, Missouri, two behind the microphone, taking the whoosh to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show. Here he is, Vic Porcelli.
Oh, that was a fast 2 hours. Holy cow. One more hour to go. Dr. Tobler coming up in a bit, we hope. And I think, Ken, I know you make fun of me, all you guys here make fun of me, but I do want to talk about the WNBA for a little bit. Just a little bit at 11:25. And there's chat box, of course, 11:41. Douchebag alert. There's a douchebag in the chat room. So let's go over this in case you missed it if you weren't listening earlier. We all know radar and what radar does, right?
Right.
And if you know somebody, that guy is definitely gay. You have gaydar. Am I right?
I think so.
And Ken has douchebagdar.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So he's in there. We'll make fun of him when we get around to that. Yeah? No. Okay. So let's talk about Alan Dershowitz. Because Alan Dershowitz is a lawyer. We know that. Harvard. I think he was a professor at Harvard. I grew up watching him because, you know, he's from New York, and the New York stations always interviewed him and always talked about him. And he was a super duper liberal on every single topic. And now here we are in the present where we are, and he takes more of a conservative stance on everything, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So he's got some things he'd like to see happen. He thinks that Mamdani should be in Iran and the mayor of Tehran, the capital of Iran.
Why not? He's from Uganda, and it's probably closer. I just think that Democrats, this is what's happening. You're seeing with very, very moderate Democrats. We've talked about this before, Vic. Where is their home now? Because the Democrat Party is now the Democrat Socialist Party. This is not conjecture. This is not rhetoric. This is the truth. These are facts, right? They'll even tell you. You've got Democrat Socialists saying, no, we are the now leaders of the party, AOC, Bernie Sanders, Mamdani. Mm-hmm. So you've got these people like John Fetterman saying, well, okay, I agree. Here's why you're getting pushback from me, because I agree with the Republicans or the conservatives in this fashion, common sense opinion. Okay, when there's an issue, when there's a topic and they agree with it. Like, for example, we played John Fetterman talking about how during the State of the Union, he actually stood up with the Republicans when there were people celebrating, when they were celebrating the parents of the girls who were killed by illegals. Mm-hmm. None of the Democrats did anything. They sat on their hands, right? And it looked really, really bad for the Democrat Party. John Fetterman stood up. Why? Because it's just common sense. It's good to do that, no matter on what side of the aisle you are. But the Democrat Socialist Party cannot accept that any longer. So these guys don't have any place to go. I mean, they really don't. So when Alan Dershowitz, he said, well, I'm a Democrat. Well, sure you are. From 25 years ago, you're not even close to being a Democrat, what they are now.
So comparing Dershowitz to Fetterman, I read a story where he's considering switching parties.
Now, see, I read the opposite. I read that he is just, no, I will not be a Republican.
Well, you know what? There's no news anymore.
There really isn't, Vic. I mean, you can, now, I would love to ask him, but let's see, where was it? John Fetterman said, yeah, well, I don't think he should be a Republican. I don't think he should join the Republican Party. I really don't. There are things that he believes that I don't believe at all, and that I don't think you should as a conservative, like abortion and all that stuff. But at the same time, he's common sense.
Mm-hmm. Can he be any worse than John Thune?
No.
Or, not Tuberville. We like Tuberville. I can't think of it.
Susan Collins, maybe?
Oh, God. Well, her.
Murkowski.
I mean, really. I mean, can he be any worse than them as a Republican? See, the thing is, when we have the majority in the House or the Senate, that means during hearings, committee hearings, we have the chair. We have the guy or girl, man or woman, who leads the hearing, bangs the gavel, and tells you to shut up if you're Jasmine Crockett.
Right.
I think that's important. I know that, if Fetterman were a Republican, and clearly either the story I read was wrong or the story you read was wrong,
exactly.
One or the other.
We'll have to look into that. I want to look into that now.
Right. So, anyway, I have another question for you, Mr. Islam.
Yeah.
Do you know, I'm sorry, I'm just putting this up on to you now. Do you know how many countries in this world are Islamic?
I think it's about 54.
Wow.
And it started with one. And every country that they are in now was not Islam until they took it over. So you have, I've got something on that. Well, anyway, I think there were like 54 of them.
So how many countries are there in the world? 192, 3, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
So it's not too late to stop this.
No, I mean, that's why there's such pushback with the Islamic regime in Iran. They can't cede their country. They can't. If they lose that, that's a big base for the Islamic regime, republic.
So can we do that?
I have no idea. I mean, I don't know what President Trump has planned. I know that maybe his plans have changed because originally all he was going to do is stop them from having a nuclear weapon. But I think now he's probably, we've talked about how there's no way that they're going to ever give up a nuclear weapon because they want to kill Israelis, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think President Trump is probably realizing that they're just not people that he can deal with.
So my whole life it's been, well, we don't hate the Russian people. We just don't like the Russian government and the communism, right? And we used to say that with Iran. What? It's not the Iranian people. Even President Trump said, here's your chance to take your country. Rise up and take your country. And everybody was rallying against the regime. Now I see more and more rallying for the regime.
That's media, I think, Vic, honest to God. That's media.
Okay.
That
I trust you, Kim.
You've got 92 million people in Iran, okay? You're going to have a faction of people that are still for the Islamic Republic.
Coming out in big numbers right now. I'm just saying that I want to keep with that notion in my heart. Well, it's not the Iranian people that we.
I believe that. I still believe that. I think for the most part, I think the majority of Iran, but they're not armed anymore.
Yeah,
okay?
You're right.
Right now, we keep talking about how don't give up our Second Amendment rights. If you do, it's all over. That's not an exaggeration. Once your weapons are gone, they can do whatever they want, and the proof is Iran. We said, okay, people rise up and take over the Islamic Republic. Well, they can't when they don't have any guns.
Right.
And we don't know if this story's true, but apparently the Kurds were given guns to give to the people, but they didn't give them to them. They kept them. I don't know if that's true.
So let me ask you this. If there comes a case, and of course nobody wants this, if there comes a time when it's boots on the ground in Iran? Is it going to be a cakewalk like it was in Iraq? Or is it going to be the mother of all battles that Saddam Hussein threatened with? And clearly it wasn't that.
I don't think it's going to be as easy as it was in Iraq at all. But I don't think it's going to be what people think it's going to be. I think that you're going to have a huge percentage of the rank and file in the military just throw their guns down. Say, you know what, we can't. I don't want to die.
That's what they did in Iraq.
Well, that is, but I think there are more of them, and it's a bigger country for sure. And I just don't think it's going to be that easy. But at the same time, I've always said, Vic, no boots on the ground, right? But look at the alternative. You've got to be able. You've got to have the sense about you to pivot if you need to. I'm willing to, because I look at the alternative of another 47 years to 50 years of Iran doing what they've been doing to thousands of Americans' deaths, and what they've been doing with the Houthis, the Hamas, and Hezbollah around the world. They've been killing thousands of people, their own people, thousands of their own people, 35,000 in one day. We don't even know how many now because they've shut it down. But I just believe that at this point, maybe we should. Maybe we just, for one final push, get our boots on the ground, get the whole military involved, and stop this thing.
Yeah. Our guest is Ken Williams, Islamic expert. I love listening to you talk about this stuff because, A, you're always so accurate, and B, you're just so passionate about it. So, getting back to where we started, sorry, that was a big, long scroll. Alan Dershowitz said that Mamdani should be Tehran's mayor, and then he says Jews who voted for him are idiots. I mean, there's so many examples, real life examples of the snake that Donald Trump read, the poem of the snake, when the snake was hurt, and this woman nursed the snake back to health, brought the snake back to her house, took care of him till he was totally feeling good and feeling better, and then the snake bit her. And then she says, well, why would you bite me after everything I've done for you? And he said, because I'm a snake. That's
Right.
what they do. So, yeah.
No, I was just going to say that we were talking about how the party is shifting and everything. Well, on here, number 11 here, Vic.
Oh, yeah.
We've got, is it number 11? Yeah, it's actually number 10, and then number 11 with Mike Johnson. But number 10 is Hakeem Jeffries.
Let's do it.
Minimizing the DSA.
Dang it.
All right.
No, I think there are two current members of the DSA that are part of the House Democratic Caucus out of 215. That number may grow to 4.
Are you concerned at all about a primary challenge in 2 years from, Mamdani endorsed candidate?
When you ask me a serious question, I'll give you a serious answer.
So he's saying that that's not a serious question. What he's saying is he's trying to minimize the idea that DSA, Mamdani, are taking over. And they are. I mean,
as communists or Islamists?
Well, it's right now it's as socialists and then communists, because you got 3 people in New York were just elected who were anointed by Mamdani, the socialist, Islamist, and they're all saying I'm a communist, and they're being elected.
Yeah.
Okay, but right behind that is Islam. That they're just saying, well, I guess since socialism and communism is more acceptable right now, we'll just go ahead and use that for now.
Well, let's play number 11 then, Ken. Speaker Mike Johnson on Hakeem Jeffries has proven that he can't even hold the line in his own backyard. Mamdani, AOC, and Bernie, all East Coasters, and 2 of them New Yorkers, and they can't, and they're taking control of the Democrat Socialist Party.
He has just proven that he cannot even hold the line in his own backyard. How can he possibly defend against the Marxist march around the country in these other districts? Zoran Mamdani and AOC and Bernie Sanders have just taken full control of the Democrat Party, or what was left of it.
You better watch how you talk when you talk about me.
You need to give me a warning. If I'm sipping coffee, you need to give me a warning. Something funny's coming up. So, where are we now? I don't know. Where are we going to be? I don't know. Let's get back to Alan Dershowitz because we keep straying away from the poor man. But he's being realistic, okay? Jewish people, for decades, have voted for Democrats. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. And then Barack Obama was elected, and many Jews were like, what in the hell is this guy making Bibi Netanyahu go out the back door?
Yeah.
So they started to turn, and yet enough of them voted for Mamdani to be mayor of New York. And Alan Dershowitz just doesn't understand it. He says, if you're a Jew and you voted for Mamdani, then you're stupid.
Yeah, that's common sense. I don't know. I don't even know how to put it, because Mamdani's not hiding anything. I mean, look during his celebrations when he was during his
inauguration. Mm-hmm.
He was wearing a full garb.
Was he?
Yeah, they cleared out the mayor's office and put down rugs for prayer rugs for
his inauguration.
Well, not for the inauguration. They were celebrating something else for that. But just the fact that they moved all the furniture out and did that, it's telling you something. 25 years ago, you would never have dreamt that would have happened in New York City, but it did.
And it is, and it's
and
happening.
It is.
So you got to get a grip on it, New York City.
And that's what I'm wondering. I think you're starting to see people. I've been watching more and more videos of people from New York saying, no, this is our city. And then you have people arguing with them saying, no, it's our city now.
Listen to this line from the story you gave me. 7,000 Jews formed a party in 1932 and voted for Hitler, thinking he would be good for the economy. Dershowitz. This is a quote from Dershowitz. Thank God we have Italian Americans. Thank you. Irish Americans and other Americans. Welsh. You're Welsh.
Oh, yeah.
Welsh American.
And Irish.
And Irish, good. Who have a lot more sense than many Jewish Americans, too. I mean, he's calling out his own. And if you call out your own, I think that's fine, you know?
But that's common sense, Vic.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about again. Yeah, he says a name. He's a Democrat. But they're losing their place. I mean, they really are. Hakeem Jeffries won't admit this. Chuck Schumer will not. Have you heard of Nancy, what's her name, Nancy Pelosi lately? I mean, you really haven't. Why?
Yeah.
Because they're being pushed out of their own party.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, oh, you're just saying that for midterms. No, listen to me. If you're voting and you're a Democrat and you're voting for your party's the Democrat Socialist Party. Be very careful, because you might be the one that they turn on next.
All right, Ken, come back and talk to us again. All right, it's good to have you on. You know so much about this. I mean, I'm impressed.
Thanks, man.
Okay, so now we like this, right? We talked about how we like this.
Yeah, Roland Turner. Yeah.
Except now there's a product called Bullshot.
Yeah.
To fix your grill with and stuff.
Right.
And the song sounds like this.
It may even be that song. Who knows?
Problem is, the singer, like the country singer, is a bull.
Oh, okay.
A real bull.
Right.
Cowboy hat, jeans.
I didn't know bulls could sing.
Or play guitar. And
okay.
This one does.
All
yeah.
right.
And it's so funny. I'm like, really? Bull shot.
Bull
I get
shot.
it.
Yeah.
It's better than having a pile of poop get out.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Being the guy who's pushed them out.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
This is 101.9 and 94.1.
Female millennial Trump supporter. I listen to it like every day. Like, seriously, you get it.
News Talk STL.
You feel it every time you check out. Prices up, paychecks stretched, families squeezed. That's why Ann Wagner's fighting to get government off your back and out of your way. Wagner passed the largest tax cut in American history, expanded child tax credits, ended taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security. And Wagner is working to lower costs so families keep more of their hard-earned money. But Ann Wagner knows delivering for Missouri means more than just protecting their wallets. It means protecting our streets as well. That's why Wagner fought to secure our border, deport dangerous illegal aliens, partner with law enforcement, and put predators behind bars and off our streets so our neighborhoods and communities stay safe. Because real effective leadership protects what matters most: your money, your family, your safety. Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Let's take a break.
Good idea.
Hey, Tom, what are you doing on that Amendment 4?
You know, we fought for our freedom and rights. I'm not giving them away without a fight.
4 takes them?
That's exactly what 4 does. For over 100 years, Missouri voters have used our constitutional power to act when the politicians refused. I'll be darned if I'm voting to pass on less freedom and power to my kids.
And doesn't 4 also kill majority rule?
Yup. Creates minority rule, or just 5% of the most liberal statewide voters in one Missouri congressional district that block any citizen-led reform, making it nearly impossible to pass common-sense conservative citizen ballot measures.
That's crazy town stuff.
And we've needed our citizen ballot measure power to pass some big conservative stuff, like outlawing tax hikes without voter approval, lobbyist reforms, and term limits for career politicians.
No way I'm letting a tiny fraction of liberals derail our conservative power. I've no on Amendment 4.
Hard no on 4.
Pay 4 buttons every inch, prepare governance.
1-2. And that's grounded up the middle. Diving play. Mason Wynn to his feet. He throws. He got him.
St. Louis. Summer baseball is on at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals host the Cincinnati Reds July 24th through the 26th for a weekend packed with Cardinals action and giveaways like the Victory Blue jersey and Kids Fredbear hat. Round up your crew and enjoy 3 days of summer baseball and family fun. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/promotions.
Redbird fans, this one's for you. Sunday, July 26th, the Cards take on the Reds, and kids 12 and under can get a one-of-a-kind Redbird hat. It's colorful, fun, and perfect for cheering on the Redbirds. Plus, it's Kids Sunday with Team Redbird. Music, games, and lots of fun in Ford Plaza. Grab your family and come have some fun at the ballpark. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is JJ Weatherholt. See you at Busch Stadium.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Wherever I'm at, home, car, wherever.
Download the all-new Newstalk STL app.
If you have a phone, you have a radio.
Just the convenience on the phone.
Streaming live on the mobile app.
Love the new app.
And listen anytime.
Everywhere.
Anywhere.
Seems I've got to have a chance to see you. Every night I have the strangest dream.
Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Don't you cuss on this here radio.
You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show on Newstalk STL.
What did I do? Just a heads up, just in case.
Oh, that was prophylactically?
Prophylactic. There you go, prophylactically.
Don't you cuss on this here radio? All right, so I'd like to talk about the WNBA for a little while, Ken, okay?
It's interesting about the WNBA. We were talking about women's basketball when it was just some girl in a college that you were so excited about her playability, and you're just like really excited. Oh, guess what? She's going to the WNBA. This is awesome, right? Let's move on to today, and it's now very political.
Oh, it's worse than political. It's okay. Let's just talk about it. So Caitlin Clark, I think who Ken's talking about. Is that you talking about, Caitlin Clark?
Yeah.
I just happened to come upon her on a post on X, and I'm watching this girl shoot up 3-pointers from the logo. And by the way, I had a great joke that nobody appreciated on Facebook. She was, when she got to the NBA, she was like the only white girl on the floor for most of the time. And the caption of what I did was, Caitlin Clark after hitting a logo 3, and it was Gene Wilder in Blazing Saddles when he go, all the guys, the black guys are giving him 5,
I
hate you. I swear to God. I work on this comedy night and day, and you toss me out like an old shoe.
I like Blazing Saddles.
But do you get it? He was the only white guy. All the black guys are giving him 5 after he does the fancy gun shooting.
Right.
And when Caitlin shoots a logo 3, they all give her 5. It's the same thing, except she doesn't have a cowboy hat and a 6-shooter.
Oh, I got you. Okay. I got it now.
Oh, it's too late, okay? It's too late. Because let me tell you, once you got to explain the joke,
exactly right.
The joke sucks. So just go ahead and say, Vic, your joke just sucks. All right. So the girl you're talking about, Caitlin Clark, she scored the most points in NCAA history. And do you know, at the college arena there in Iowa, they have a square with 22 in it. That's just right where she took the shot that put her over the top. It's really cool.
Oh, that is cool, yeah.
So now she's in the WNBA. And I'm really going to try not to get in trouble here, but guys, I'm not here to pussyfoot around with this crap. I almost said the other word.
Mm-hmm.
Because the girls who have been in the WNBA, I don't know what the percentage is, high percentage of black women playing in the WNBA. And nobody was paying attention. Nobody. It was so bad that Bill Burr, is that his name, stand-up comedian? Is it Bill Burr or Bob Burr? Bill Burr. Said, WNBA, you know what? Nobody goes. The stadiums are empty. And they were for a while. They were playing in arenas that held 4,000 people, and they couldn't even fill that. Then along comes this half-Italian girl named Caitlin Clark, and now all of a sudden they had to not only fill that arena, but they've moved up to Gamebridge Fieldhouse, which holds 20,000.
I want to say, though, that from my experience, because I had no reference point before you started talking about this at all. So my thing is the WNBA, I don't think it was a racial thing at all. I always thought of the WNBA as a women's basketball organization. It was not very exciting at all. I didn't think about it as black or white. It was never an issue. And they have a large percentage of lesbians, I'm sure. And I know that what's the one guy that is now a woman who's playing on that team?
Brittany Griner.
Brittany Griner, who was in Russia, got caught.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I knew about that.
You're funny. Yeah.
Because it's a dude.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
sorry.
dude.
You
It's a
can
dude.
call him whatever you want, but
Yeah.
I know he's a dude. So I knew all that. But I never thought it was a racial issue at all until they started. Actually, they were saying it in front of about Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham.
Yeah.
Sophie Cunningham, Angel Reese just posted something saying, yeah, it's only white women that are doing the UFC thing. That tells you a lot about the UFC when they only have white women doing the thing in between.
And I'm sure that's not true.
No, it's not, Vic, because all of a sudden all the people that responded to her said, no, here are the people that are black that did the same thing. So they're trying so hard to make it racial, and you've got to address it. It's there, but it's not. We're not saying it. We're just saying, hey,
We're just reporting
We're saying
what we're seeing.
Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham and that other girl,
Lexi Hall, Trace Leches.
Okay, they're good.
Yeah.
They're just good players.
Yep.
Let them play. Stop hurting them.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's racial and sexual because, like you just mentioned, so many players in the WA are lesbian, and oddly enough, sponsored by Dick's. Sporting Goods.
Right.
Thanks, Ken. Thanks for reeling me out of that one. But right now, Caitlin is on minimal minutes, okay, because she got hurt. She hurt her back because of all the rough stuff. And I'm not saying that the WNBA should be don't touch anybody. There's going to be rough. And that was one of the first things I noticed about college ball when I said, these girls are rough and tough.
That's fine. And I agree with that. But the things I've been seeing, this is way above and beyond. I mean, I see them getting physical with each other, but they're really going at Caitlin Clark even more so. And she's hurt because of that.
So she hasn't played a whole lot of minutes. They got to run restricted minutes. Her coach does not like her. Why, I don't know. But she should play a few more minutes tomorrow night, and then more. And because Caitlin used to play the whole game. She used to play like 18, 19 minutes in the game.
Well, let me ask you a question. They have this 30-year anniversary poster that they made with all these marquee players, right? Caitlin Clark, she's probably the top marquee player now. She's the one who draws all the money, all the people. But yet Angel Reese was on that poster, but who was not? Who was missing from that poster? Caitlin Clark. Now, tell me that's not racial or something.
It's something for sure.
What is it?
Whether it's racial or they hit her because she's straight, something is wrong. But Sophie Cunningham is on that poster.
Okay.
And Sophie said, why me and not Caitlin? I haven't proven myself at all, even though in the last 2 games, Ken, the other night she was on fire, man. She had 5 threes, 5 3-point shots. And the best thing about her is she is Caitlin's enforcer.
Yeah.
And you can see it anytime they start getting nose to nose, start talking. Sophie walks right in between there.
If the whole WNBA had the attitude of Sophie Cunningham, if every player was like her, man, I'd be watching every single game. And I'm not talking about skin color. I'm saying that if every player had her attitude, her approach to the game, just her overall appearance on how she enjoys life in general, man, I'd be a fan. I'd be a huge fan. And they try to chop her down too.
Yep. And the best thing about her is she is Caitlin's enforcer. You know?
Yeah.
She is right there in the middle of everything, and she doesn't back down. Her opponents may forget she's a 3rd-degree black belt in Taekwondo.
They should probably be careful with that.
They should. Because she just pull your heart right out of your chest.
Well, I think what it is, she has a lot of control. When you learn that type of a martial art, you've got a lot more control than other people, and you don't use it just willy-nilly, right?
You don't start fights with
You
it.
don't at all, ever. But if you push her so far to the point to where you're like almost fisting, like punching her, then you're going to get it back, and you better watch out.
There was one play where the play was over. There was a foul on her. And real quick, she went and flapped the girl right in the back of the head. And the girl's like, why didn't you call that? She flapped her.
It didn't hurt, probably,
That's
right?
a Porcelli word. Flap!
Flap.
Or flip! Flip, I think, is a little harder than flap.
Probably.
I don't know. I cannot explain my household at all. All right, I'll say it one more time. Radar, we know what that detects. If you have gaydar, you know where the gays are, where they are. And Ken has remarkable douchebag-dar. We'll talk about that next in the chat room on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. I love Joe Cocker. What you're doing here is getting me going, Kenny.
Yeah, man.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter.
Hey, Vic and Ken. Good to see you, dadgummit.
Vic and Ken. Ken pushes buttons. Vic pushes the envelope. The Vic Porcelli Show on News Talk STL.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
There is a senior services tax proposal in the county of St. Louis that David Stokes of the Show Me Institute says it's as bad as it gets. We'll ask Dave why he's so fired up at 4:20.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps.
Weekdays at 4
on News Talk STL.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 101.9. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Yo, this is Vic. Vic for Vets is proudly honoring our veterans. Every Wednesday at 11:05, you'll hear about that day's honoree and their incredible service to our country.
Hi, it's Ken. You want to nominate a veteran? Send their name, service information, and story to me, Ken, at NewstalkSTL.com.
Brought to you by Heroes Care, Alamo Military Collectibles, Gemini Wealth Group, Michael's Funeral Home, and Freddie's Market.
Together, let's celebrate the heroes in our community. Vic for Vets, where honor meets gratitude.
Have you heard those ads claiming Amendment 4 stops conservative amendments?
That's not true. It actually stops a couple big cities from pushing radical ideas into our Constitution. Remember 2024? Only 8 out of 114 counties voted to allow transgender surgeries on children.
That's terrifying. We can't let just a handful of counties rule the whole state.
Exactly. Amendment 4 requires broad statewide support and keeps foreign money out of our elections. Vote yes on 4 this August 4th.
Paid for by Freedom Principal MO, Missouri First PAC. Kate Sickles, Treasurer.
Hey, it's Mike Ferguson. Mario's Donut Restaurant, that's your place to go for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. From mouth-watering sandwiches, omelets, delicious gyros, and Mexican dishes, to their revamped menu with cannolis, tiramisu, baklava, and danishes. And don't forget those famous donuts. Dine in or carry out, Mario's friendly staff is ready to serve you with love and care. Mention Newstalk STL when you visit, or just visit mariosdonutrestaurant.com.
Like and subscribe to us on Rumble. News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
We demand a lower work week, 32-hour work week.
Very well, we'll give them shorter hours. We'll start by cutting their lunch hour to 20 minutes.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
John Mayall's Blues Breakers. All right, Ken, let's go. Let's get right into it because there's too much to talk about. Radar, Gaydar, Douchebag Dar. Ken's got Douchebag Dar. He knows where the douchebags are. PMS is very happy because he was first. OMG, first. Good morning, Patriots. And he says, hey, good to see you.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Where in God's green earth is everyone? Ken, you and I have to go back right now. Not right now. We have to go and listen to the Grasser commercial about tripping the breakers. What makes them break, the kid says. I don't know. The kid says something that we can use.
Oh,
so we'll
okay.
go through that,
Yeah.
Number two, two little piles of poop. When did they put the Home Run Derby on Netflix? What?
Oh, did they? I didn't know.
He says I'm sorry, let me read it right. When they put the Home Run Derby on Netflix, we are doomed as a country. Not for nothing, but I think you're old enough to remember growing up and watching the Cardinals on Channel 11 for free.
Oh yeah,
every game.
I think that ruined it for their building that following from childhood on up.
Mm-hmm. Senator Schroer, thank you for getting common sense legislation passed. Very much appreciated. Nick promised to be on later in the week.
Yeah, I want to get a hold of him
to explain some of that stuff he threw in there at the end on us. Putting anything on a streaming service totally screws over senior citizens that don't subscribe to all that crap.
Yep.
Ed, where are you, my friend? Good morning, Patriots. And Gulch is turd. DLW says, makes me think that the MLB and Netflix are somehow still making a killing while all leaving fans out of the mix. All about the money and not the game, and not the fans.
No, in the short term, they're probably printing money, but in the long term, you have to. We reference baseball from our childhood. If you don't see it ever until you're older, it's gone by then. By then, you're not invested in it.
I'm going to write an editorial about baseball.
You should.
Okay. 101 straight up said, May the 4th be with you because he's fourth. Not because it's May 4th. May the 4th because he's fourth into the...
okay.
And you know what? He can say anything he wants.
Sure.
Because of whoosh, my brother.
Whoosh.
Remember, there was a time that networks wanted to maximize the amount of fans watching sporting events? And now they're doing the exact opposite by putting it on Netflix.
Yeah.
What in the hell? 101 straight up in the house. It must be cool to get into the chat box and everybody cheers for you. Hey, how you doing?
Vic.
Yo,
Vic.
I'm here. Remember, there was a time... Oh, I just said that one. 101 in the house. It's all the sports leagues. They only care about how much money they can make. Yes. They still want to minimize fans. They just think eliminating broadcast TV is the way to get more money from them. And some folks will do just that. I simply don't stream anything. So, all right. If it's not on free TV or cable that I already paid for, I don't watch it. Any of it. My favorite ever backwards hat pick is the goofball shielding his eyes with his hands at a ball game while wearing his hat backwards.
Yes.
That's such a great meme. He's going like this, and the thing is behind him. He is that whole thing. I don't like it, Ken, and I never will. Morning. Do I just skip by the douchebag? Skip right by him?
Yeah. If you want to do any special nuggets from that idiot, that'd be great.
Morning, Vic heads and Thunder. What?
Didn't he have to leave because he's like some big wig? Like he's the president of a major corporation.
He had to leave because he had to go on a conference call.
Sure.
No.
Sure you did, Mitch. Mitchell, we'll miss you, bro.
Douchebag Dar. Morning, Vic heads and Thunder Steeler fans. Hi, Vic and Ken. So he says, like Vic, I'm a Jersey guy now in Missouri. I had to get out of Jersey. The commies have taken over. This is his softening you up to make you think you can trust him.
You should have heard the phone call. He called, Ken, how you doing, man? Listen, I'm from New Jersey, and Vic would love to hear this. He would love it because I've got so much to say about New Jersey and how bad it's gotten. It's like a communist country now, man. I'm like, all right, you hold on, dude.
You hold on. Vic won't believe what's going on in New Jersey right now. I still have people I know in New Jersey, okay? And if anything was happening, I would know.
Right. You have family and everything there.
And he's sucking in people. Allison says we don't like commies in Missouri. Be aware the commies own St. Louis City now and have for decades. That's 101 straight up. Rarely, but he does the chat box every day toward the end of the show. They do open the phone lines, DOW says. What's the call-in number? Douchebag wants to know. What's the call-in number? I think they're a bit more selective on who they talk to in regard, though. Like, if you're a douchebag, you're not getting on the show. Actually, I'm on hold. Just spoke to Ken. I think that's who it was. Oh, shut up. They sniffed me out, he said. Ken's got douchebag door. Oh, well. They remember my voice from over a year ago. Amazing. So it is the same guy.
Oh, I didn't. I just sensed he was not being truthful.
It's the same guy who used to put clips up on Twitter.
Yeah.
On how he owned me.
Oh, he owned you, boy.
Yes, Ken, I'm listening.
Nope.
Okay.
That's it.
Should have known. Remember when the admins blocked stupid asses for stupid stuff? They post in chat.
Don't you cuss on this here radio.
One man in women's sports is too many. Brittany Griner, right? One man is trying to use a woman's restroom as a mental problem.
Well, I remember the Democrats, they would say, or just the left, I don't know who it was, but they were on the left. They would say, Brittany Griner's not a man. And then I would see these videos of him playing basketball without a shirt on.
By the pool.
Same tattoos.
Yeah.
Same tattoos, everything. Yeah. No breasts. Adam's apple.
He's a guy.
And they, you just shut up. You're saying some bad stuff about this woman.
Right. So that guy Mitch, he's using the handle MAGA Mitch. So DOW says, MAGA bitch, why do you hate yourself? Love it. You must have a sad life, bub, to come on a radio chat and try to start stop. It must really suck. It must suck to be Mitch. And
well, anybody on the left like that, I mean, they're very unhappy lifestyles. Very unhappy people right now.
And don't come and drown your liberal problems to us.
Well, obviously it didn't work. I mean, the people on the
they
chat,
caught up with him.
Yeah.
On the contrary, you're bolstering our opinions of leftist idiocy.
Yes.
Then he says, MAGA people deserve to be pointed at, laughed at, and mocked. Allison says, try a laxative. No, if you had valid arguments, that's the LW2. It's hard to read around it. No, you're not. I'm old school conservative. I don't call leftists cultists or curse at them or call them stupid.
Whatever.
Leftist scum do exactly that, though. That was 101 straight up. I suppose you were better off 3 years ago than you are today? Conservatives do not act like you are, clown.
That's really a big telltale sign right there. And you can tell when someone calls, you can tell. I see it every day we're on.
How many times I got to say? You got douchebag dar.
Right.
You do. Children are difficult, too singularly focused. Facts is facts, ma'am, even if you don't like it. Maybe he is a ma'am. Maybe. Wait somewhere else. You're too stupid to answer back intelligently. What a surprise. He's talking to our people like that. He's talking to our people like that.
I know.
I think maybe we got to pay him a visit.
Right. He's from New Jersey. He knows what that means.
I was just going to say, he wants to talk about Jersey? It's one phone call away from me. One phone call away. Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? They were reporting that LG's network was only... Who's LG?
Oh.
Boy,
Lindsay.
if that isn't the pot calling the kettle black.
Yes. They were reporting that LG's Lindsey Graham's net worth was only $1.9 million after 30 years of service. Unless he earned more and moved to offshore accounts, he was an upstanding public servant. I think that says a lot.
Yeah, it does. Like I said, yesterday, I didn't agree with a lot of things that he would, talk about, his stance on things. But I agreed with a lot of them. And I thought overall he was a good guy.
Lindsey
Graham,
Absolutely, yeah. And now he's dead. I think off the Dennis Leary song, When I See Your Comments in the Chat. Okay, so Dennis Leary, very quickly from me. Shortly after 9/11, when everything kind of got back to normal, late night shows and stuff.
Right.
He was a guest on Jay Leno. And he was talking about being on a plane and everything. And Jay Leno says, well, do you support racial profiling? He goes, you bet. You know what else I support? Facial profiling. I don't like your face, you're not getting on the plane.
There you go. I like his song. He has a good song out there.
I know. Go ahead.
It's just look it up. It's Dennis Leary, and it's called "I'm an A-hole." Oh yo yo.
I know you like it. I don't know. I tried it, and I don't think I liked it.
It's funny.
Union members have joined in on voting for Trump as well. Something about Sean Fain was in here. I think I might have skipped by it because of this guy. Iran has over 300 drones in Cuba, which can reach the United States. Be ready when it matters. The Washington Guard is ready. I've met a few union members over the past 10, 12 years. Honestly, they think most of them are conservative at heart, but their dues go toward the Democrats that union bosses support. That is why Right to Work was started to begin with. That should scare everybody on both sides. Leftists think socialism is a good thing and that the rest of the world is too harsh on terrorist scum. Oh, Common Core math. Remember Common Core math? Is that what you were trying to think of before when we were talking about math and reading?
Yes. Yes.
So Nate Bargatze says Common Core is solving a problem that uses the entire sheet of paper. It's like if Common Core is like if somebody wants to come in your house, say, okay, go in the back, hop the fence, go in the back door, and meet me right here.
Yes, that's it.
Just walking in.
I was showing my daughter. I remember my daughters were just getting into math, And I said, well, here's how you do that, honey. And she goes, that's not how you do that.
Oh.
And went around, and we actually had a little meeting with the teacher, and he said, well, that's what we're given to instruct right now.
Yeah.
He said, but we can teach them both. Yeah. I said, well, you do that. And then luckily she got into a program called SAIL, so it saved her.
Oh, good.
Common sense again saved her, Vic. Hey, I want to tell you something I posted. There was a guy named Steve Ferguson on X. He posted a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right to the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Isn't it time we brought back militia just like the good old days? And then I posted a real long one, but it has to do with our Washington Guard, and you ought to check it out at thewashingtongard.com.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
The original is the National Archive. The original, I don't know what this is. I'm sorry. Where are the reparations for all the Union soldiers that died in the Civil War fighting to end slavery?
Exactly right.
DLW says Charles Lindbergh did not fly around the world. Where did he fly? Didn't he fly a long way? Oh, across the Atlantic? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
across
to the UK.
Where are the reparations for all the people who fled the cities because of crime? Ruthie in St. Louis. Ruthie.
Hi, Ruthie.
NSDL. Hi, Ruthie.
Well, yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
The museum at the Arch also has rewritten history on display. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about.
See?
When kids learn about history, they're not going to learn real history. They're going to learn what the left wants you to know. I grew up in Southern California. We got out 30 years ago, and I haven't looked back. Good for you, Barry. Time to mute and do some laundry. That's from the douchebag Dark.
To your point about changing history, there's a movie called Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey, and in it, it's the future. And the one teacher of the kid, the kid got in trouble because she was telling the story of how they landed on the moon, which her dad taught her, Matthew McConaughey. And the teacher said she's being suspended because she's telling a lie. And he said, "What do you mean a lie?" She said, "Well, we all know that no one really landed on the moon."
Oh my God!
And that's kind of changing. That's changing history.
Yeah. Okay. Ed finally showed up, and he says, "I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. No fair elections.
No peace.
No fair tariffs.
No peace.
No fair chat box."
No peace.
Fetterman is always on Newsmax. I get it. Great segment. Thank you so much. All right, try to feed in a couple of Facebooks here if we can. Grant says, "What is today? Is it Monday? I don't know. I'm retired. Regardless of the day, whoosh, you bunch of Vic heads."
Whoosh.
The hat backwards is the kid Ken Griffey's thing. He did it first and brought a cool vibe to young kids. Having your hat on backwards does not make you a cool kid. I'm sorry. Wearing your hat, oh no. Wearing your hat the right way is the cool kids. Good morning, everyone. Only total surrender of Iran regime. Thomas Hickson, there's Rat. David Sylvester says, "Vic, I go braless when I get home too." Just saying, David Sylvester. Thanks, everybody. I'm so sorry. It's all Ken's fault. Thanks so much for having the record player on at night. Listen to us this morning.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
We got to that so early. Was it me?
Jamie's next. See everybody.
I think it was me.
Hey, it's Vic Porcelli. We're sitting here with our great friend, Chris Cooper. Hi, Chris.
What's going on, Vic? How are you?
I hear you wrote another book. This one's an e-book. Is that right?
The Business Owner's Playbook for Financial Clarity. So it is a great book for entrepreneurs, a very short guide. Give people, business owners, the ability to understand key questions that are important, such as succession planning, legacy planning, getting the IRS out of our pockets, right? Because do you like paying taxes?
I do not.
I don't think anybody likes paying taxes, right? That just makes sense. And then always talking about protection. And then the other thing from a business owner perspective, what is the biggest asset a business owner has? Probably their business itself, right? We need to make sure we understand what the value of that business is as well.
So this new book, I'm sure, is incredibly expensive, right? How much?
No, it's a free resource.
Oh, it's free.
We provide guidance, we provide education because we want to make sure people feel educated and understanding because sometimes you don't know what questions to ask, and we need to make sure we help arm people with information to ask the right question.
Reach out to Chris and Stacy today at SerenityWealthNow.com.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors, LLC.
There's an old way to buy a mattress, and there's a new way. The old way? Lay on a mattress for about 6 minutes, look at your spouse, shrug, and somehow decide where you're going to spend the next 10 years of your life. Seems like a lot of confidence for 6 minutes. At Snooze Mattress Company, we use advanced pressure mapping technology to help you understand what your body actually needs before you make that decision. It's personalized, It's simple, and it beats crossing your fingers. Come see us during our 4th of July event sale. When you sleep better,
The
everything gets
Laborers
better.
International Union of North America, Local 110, was formed in 1933 and from the beginning has strived for progress and the well-being of others. The laborers of Local 110 are hardworking men and women who take pride in their great work. They are the fastest growing union of construction workers and one of the most effective unions representing plants and quarries. Laborers Local 110 has the best medical benefits, pension, education, and heavy construction training in the market. Visit lu110.com and start your future today.
Looking for a hardware store that treats you like family? Welcome to True Value Schneider's Hardware, your local gem in Old Town St. Peters. For over 100 years, we're proudly serve you St. Charles County, providing everything from lawn and garden supplies to plumbing and electrical. Need a bolt or fastener? We've got you covered. And don't forget, we're a steel dealership. Whether you need sales, parts, or service, ask for Charlie or Jerry when you come in. We're here to help. Call 636-278-4461 or visit us online at truevalue.com/Schneiders.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
News this hour at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Federal Reserve Chairman Kevin Warsh is pledging to make high inflation a thing of the past. Promise he made as he appeared for his first congressional testimony as Fed chairman.
Inflation's a choice. The members of our committee have no tolerance for persistently elevated inflation, and we share a resolute commitment to ensure price stability.
Fellow U.S. Senators today remembering South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. Republican Tom Cotton of Arkansas says Graham was a staunch supporter of the U.S. military from his very first appearance on Capitol Hill.
When Lindsey arrived in the House in 1995 as the first Republican congressman from South Carolina's 3rd Congressional District,